Hello, hello, hello. I copy the link, send out the link. How we all doing? Let's see. Mhm. All right. Let's see. Mike, what's up? How are you? Hidden. The fuck just happened? Do not pay attention to anything I say. All right, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. What did I want to do? I wanted to. I wanted to come here. I wanted to. Do this. Do this. Oh, there we go. What just happened? What just happened? Wicked, what just happened? Hidden, what just happened? What happened? What happened? Ah, ah, ah. You were silly, Hidden. Silly, silly, silly. I sent out a couple of links. I am going to send out a couple more and see what happens. See what happens. Hello,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm all right. Kathy had the rope around my neck and the hook in my nutsack and drug me over here.
I bet she did. All right. So I sent out a few links. We'll see who thinks or who thinks who clicks it. We know that Mr. Bourbon Bounty.
I'm here. And it's Friday.
It is
Woohoo.
Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, there's good and bad. There's good and
Yeah.
bad stuff about work, but I picked up some extra duty at work, which is a little harder to do, but it makes me feel more important. You know,
Well, that's good. I
it makes
always
me feel
say,
more like useful. You know, like they're
right.
not going to look at me if they want to downsize.
I always said that to Jimmy because he would always say, "Why, why do you take on so much responsibility?" And I used to always say, in my mind, it makes me less replaceable
That's right.
because that's more people they have to hire to do the job they pay me to do.
Well, that's absolutely correct. I mean, I'm a director and I have three managers, several associate managers under those managers. I mean, at some point, if I hire the best people, the hell am I doing? You
Right.
know, they're doing most of the
Hey,
work.
Cody.
And so
But
I
yeah,
have to do something every once in a while to make myself.
right. Like when I worked at the prison, all the other prisons would have like three different employees to do the job that I did at my prison
Yep.
because I was the medical assistant, I was the phlebotomist, and I also helped the nurses. And every other prison would have three different people to do the different
Hmm.
things that I did. I would get all I would do the job of communicating with the outside hospitals, getting paperwork and things like that. And like I would always say, every other place has like three or four different people that do all that.
Yep.
So that
Well,
just makes me even more
and
irreplaceable.
we know as leaders who's doing the work, you
Right.
know, and we see it. And whenever it comes time and they say, hey, it's time you're gonna have to cut your staff by 10%. What about Doris? Oh hell no, I ain't getting rid of Doris because Doris is
Exactly.
carrying, 3 mules
Yep.
worth of pack shit over here.
It's
You
funny
know,
because my job when I went to days was actually created specifically with me in mind.
yep,
I was a 3 to 11 CNA that they deemed they didn't need anymore. But the doctor, the medical director, wanted an assistant. And she said in that budget where we're getting rid of that CNA, we have budget for a medical assistant. And they said, "Do you have anybody in mind?" And she was like, "Yep, Doris."
yep.
And
Yeah,
when
we would
when
be,
I met with her, she was like, "I want you to take this job and make it your own.
yep,
I'm not going to give you responsibilities or duties or whatever. I want you to create your own position, basically, because it was a brand new position.
yep,
I could do whatever the hell I wanted to do." And that's what I did.
yep. But at their end, though, you can't just say, "Oh, I play golf 3 days a week," because
Right.
they expect you to bring value and help them out. And
Yep.
so,
And it was like, I just had, it was to the point where my medical director would describe me as the coordinator of the whole unit because I
mhm,
had my hands in every different discipline. Like I knew what was going on in every different aspect
yep,
of that unit. So she used to call me the clinical coordinator. Even if that wasn't my title,
right.
I was included in everything. Like I would attend the meetings, the everything.
Lady C.
Lady C, hello. And as far as plans for the summer, really the only thing that we have in Ironclad is next week. Lisa's going to be coming to visit with the kids and Mark. They will be here for a few days, and her daughter Izzy will be staying with us after they go back. She's going to be spending some time at our house. And she, as far as I know, is going to be working with WTF Mike because next year in school she will be taking welding. So he is going to work with her as kind of like a prelim to her education and kind of show her the ins and out of welding and make her comfortable working. So really that's the only thing that we have ironclad right now. Um Other than that, really no major plans.
Don't you have any home renovation plans?
So the next thing that we've done stuff to the outside, like take down that tree, and a lot of the other home renovation stuff, we are kind of debating. A lot of it we think we have to put on hold until we level out the foundation, because we think a lot of the work that we have that we're going to be doing is just going to be
Are kind of
undone.
debating. Oops.
A
Hang on.
lot of it we think we have to put. So we're thinking we may hold off, and the next big project that we're gonna do is the leveling of the foundation. So I don't know how long that will take. It'll just be me saving money, and then once I have the money, get it done, and then
Well,
we'll
Mike has an
slowly.
excavator, doesn't he?
I think so. I know that we have spoken to him about it, but he's come to the house and he doesn't think there's any good point for him to have the excavator on our property to do the work, because apparently his excavator's big.
Yeah, you can even
So,
rent them.
right.
Like Jimmy
And
can
that
rent one.
right. And that's what Mike said, that Menards rents out equipment like that. All right, Uncle Surf. So we Jimmy, I kind of assigned that to Jimmy. I'm like, that's kind of your thing. You just tell me what you need, and I don't want anything to
Open
do with it.
checkbook. Open
Exactly.
checkbook, baby.
I'm like, you give me a number, and that will be my goal to get to that number. Hello, Mother Kathy.
Hello.
Kathy.
How are you?
Okay.
Just okay.
No, I just happened to opened my chat on my phone
Yeah.
and seen what that fucking asshole Surf just said.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the one threatening testicles and didn't come up here. He's an asshole, huh?
See, and Bourbon said the
I
same
don't know
thing.
what you said. What did you
Bourbon
Oh,
say?
in her Italian voice, she said my testicles are gonna be floating in the bottom of the ocean if I don't get up here.
Bourbon
And the
said
most
she
Italian.
pretty much used a hook in his testicles and dragged him up here. So, Kathy, that is the second person to pretty much tell me the same story, just in different words. So, I tend
Yeah,
to
mine
think
were gonna be
that's
floating.
true.
It's validated. It's validated.
Right. It's validated.
What do they call that when victims come together? Yeah, Jody.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, we're not going to do a class action lawsuit though.
We won't stay silent though, Kathy.
I'm still waiting for your check, Bourbon.
Yeah.
You forgot to leave the money at the door last night.
Yeah. Mm. Whoa, wait.
Fucking bullshit. What the fuck, Doris? You see, she changed my name.
I did.
Oh, I can't see that.
It's
Ball crusher.
I renamed her Ball Crusher.
Okay. Well, I popped the chat out. That's what I was doing. I was
Okay.
getting my
It's
other
more like the
screen
nut
going.
snagger. Yeah, so Zoom, you gotta have two windows open.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to
That's the only downfall to Zoom.
I keep this other screen laid flat because so I can sleep. It's too bright, and oh, look at that. Yeah.
Does that work with that?
It does, I think.
That looks like something different than crushing.
Yeah, but
Well, but it's saying you can't lick the balls.
Oh yeah, you can't. Yeah,
Yeah.
you crush
no
them and you
licking.
cannot.
No licking the balls.
Yep. It's
Yeah,
not
when you're
red
busy
though.
hooking them, you're not going to be worried about
It's
licking
it's
them.
like a yield sign. It's not a stop
Uh-huh.
sign. It's like it leaves it up to user discretion.
Yeah.
What's up,
Yes,
Joe?
it's out.
Ouch.
Hello, Lady C. Hello, Mikey. Joe, hello.
Smoke them if you got
Did
them.
enough people press 10 for you?
I think so.
My other half would be up here, but he's got it. He's going to bed. He was too busy working on somebody's shit list picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 3 a.m. over there.
Yeah.
Who's that? Who just got added? Big Daddy H?
Yep.
Yep.
You should
And
see it.
he'll complain about it,
Uh-huh.
but
With a smile. With a smile.
smile.
How he was smiling about it last night when he found out he was going to be on it. He didn't want to be on that kiss ass list. He was
Nope.
bitching. I don't want to be on no kiss ass list.
Yeah.
But when I was telling the guys on about the moose story, he had to put his 2 cents in, and he ended up getting the 3 dings.
Yep.
So yeah, so now he's happy.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Kathy only has 3 lists. It's kiss ass, the shit list, and go away, you're banned.
How'd you do that? How'd you get a thumb to
Right?
pop up
How'd
in
you
there?
do the thumb?
Put a thumbs up, Jody.
When you were
How
talking,
do you put a thumbs up? Oh, down
No,
there.
put
No, just your hand.
Reaction.
Put your hand up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just put your other hand. Yeah, do that. No,
Maybe you
keep
hit
it up there.
reaction.
I didn't hit
maybe.
reaction.
But it's funny because a thumbs up came out of your mouth when you were talking.
Yeah, when you were saying,
Well, yeah, you put a thumbs up and it was like a Facebook thumbs up that was
Yeah.
like a bubble floating.
yeah.
It was weird. I never saw that before.
Well, you weren't you weren't moving. You just had your thumbs up and say thumbs up. And keep
Thumbs
it
up.
there.
Nothing.
See if it showed it on.
It did.
I
I
saw it
looked
in
up and
Zoom,
I
but did it
saw
show
it,
it on?
but yeah, I didn't do anything though. Oh, there,
So-
see, that's a different thumbs up.
Right. That's a different
Mine
thumbs
was
up.
kind of like floating.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not the reaction.
Yeah, Jody, go rewind to
Oh,
just
that's
go
all right.
rewind. That's
I
I've
mean, I
never seen
saw it.
that.
I looked up and saw it right before it went away. I was kind of
Mhm.
glancing over at the chat and back, and I saw it, the thumbs up there, but I don't know how. I
Uh-huh.
want to see it. I've got some.
You better call Big Daddy and see if he kind of put the zinger on you because you got a
Yeah,
thumbs up for him.
maybe. He's secretly watching from the background.
Actually, that's the shit list thumbs up. You people better beware, hey? The Italian that coming after you.
That's really weird. Now I'm curious how you did that, Jody.
You didn't do it.
Didn't do anything. Oh,
Leave
you
it.
know what? Wait a minute. Let me check my camera setting. Oh, I have reactions
Oh, okay.
on the cam. So I don't know how to make it work.
Well, just tell me you're going to pick your nose and see if picking your nose will show up.
You see if
Hey, Tails, how are you?
was that what
There
it
you go.
did?
Yep.
Right, but I see I had reactions turned on the cam, but I don't know how to make it do it. Like they're on now. So
Yeah, it I don't know what you did, but it did come back up. But you were like Kathy said earlier, your hands weren't up, so I
Right.
don't.
Maybe you
Yeah,
could say like this or say like.
like.
I don't know. I've
Uh,
I've never seen. Yeah.
Well, in the reactions on like the FaceTime HD cam, that's what that is. You know, a MacBook, it'll show me what the reactions are. There's a heart, there's a thumbs up, thumbs down, balloons, rain,
No, I
cloud.
have those too. But when you click, I click the reactions and I put a thumbs up, and it shows a thumbs up in my
right,
corner that
because
you
you're
might.
doing the
No, no, no.
Zoom.
I'm talking about on the MacBook. Like
He's
it's
talking about
supposed
on
to
his
be a
own camera.
gesture reaction thing.
I have a MacBook, so
Up at the top, do you see up at the top where it says Zoom and there's a green outline around a camera? Okay, you know where your clock is. Go left from there.
well, hold on. Let me blow the whole Zoom up. I had split screen.
No, no, no. This isn't on Zoom. It's on the Mac or across the
Right,
top.
it's on the computer itself. It's not on
Oh,
Zoom.
okay.
I'm gonna go make a drink, Kathy. Your co-host.
All right.
All
She's just
right.
gonna listen to us idiots try and figure out how to get a thumb in
Yeah.
there.
Technology.
Okay, guys. Now say after the count of three, lick my balls and see if it shows up. One, two,
I don't want to.
three.
Lick my balls.
Yeah, it would have died if something had popped up.
No, wasn't that. That didn't do it.
At least it could
Maybe
have
you have a
showed a
newer Mac,
turn.
but mine's kind of
I
old.
do.
Mine
I
is.
have the MacBook Pro with the M1 chip.
Yeah, mine's like 5 years. I have a MacBook Pro, but it's like 5 years old now. But huh, that's that's pretty cool if you can just click and have shit float around, you know.
But
Click
it's
the
almost, I mean, I need to Google it. I say Google it, but search for it and look and see how to work the reactions, like what makes them go off. Is there a
Right.
keyword?
It's
Is there,
like you had the thumbs up, so
yeah,
that showed up, but what else are you gonna say that's gonna make it react?
right. And it just will come up random. I mean, it shows
I'll
all
tell
the
you,
different reactions I can have, but
I learned something new about my iPhone or my laptop like today at work. We have this time clock and you have to go, it's the portal, blah blah blah, and you have to go to a web browser. I asked, the guy in charge said, was there an app I can download so I don't have to go to a web browser www and every time search it and then it's like, oh well, you have an iPhone, right? And you could take a website and make it an app. And he showed me, and I was like, well, holy fucking, so if there's any page that you're a fan of, you can turn that into an app where you just click on it and it takes you.
oh, the icon takes you to the web page. Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, well, I never even knew that. Pornhub, here we go.
Oh,
there,
could you
it's
say
got some
Pornhub? Uh,
bodacious
Yeah,
icons. Yeah.
say Pornhub.
it's
Let
got a
me see
little
if there's a
icon on
dick
my.
that shows.
BBD.com. No, I'm just kidding.
I ain't done that one.
No. I like that one comedian. He said, everybody's a little bit gay. And he goes, no, I'm not. He said, I'm not gay at all. He said, you watch porn? Well, yeah. He said, so when you're watching porn, do you like to see guys doing women with little teeny dick or a big old dick? Well, big old dick. I see you're a little bit gay. You like watching them big old dick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
What do you think, Kathy?
Got me curious
I
now.
was just thinking that when I watch porn, I just watch it, just the guys. I don't even watch where they screwing a woman or anything. I just like to. Uh,
I thought you were going to get us off that topic, but all right.
I was hoping that there would be a penis that would fly up over it, Jody.
Yeah, I don't know.
An eggplant
Yeah, yeah,
right
that could have
past the.
been. Now, see, now that would have been something that could have appeared on his.
Let's see. Make.
I mean, all of a sudden, after all this time, a thumbs up pops up on you.
Oh, wait, okay, here's one way, okay. Victory sign shows, okay. It only showing me 3 of them. There's more than it. So away from my face, and my background may screw it up, but if I hold it up long enough, there, it pops up.
There you
Well,
go.
that's what I tried to
And
tell you before is hold it up.
oh, wait, let me see. I'm supposed to be able to do a heart. Yeah, hearts. And what was the other one? Shit, I don't
Eggplant. You're supposed to do like the stroking motion.
Do that. Do it long enough, but you're gonna have to not make it look like yours is big.
Well, then I mean, if I did it real, it won't pick it up on the camera.
That's pretty, so that's a new huh. Have you seen Joe, and I don't know how much you use math at work, but I don't know if you've seen Apple's what they're coming out on their new iPad, the calculator that they have. Holy oh, I'm gonna buy an iPad just for the calculator that they're I
Was it
don't want
like
to bore you with
scientific
it, but
calculator?
oh, it's like any I mean you can draw shit and you can draw, a fit. I
Like
can't even think of an
geometric shapes,
example.
and it'll tell you the area and all that.
Yeah, you can draw you and then a fence if you're trying to figure something out, put your height and then that, and but it goes way into more like scientific,
Hmm.
like engineering type shit. If you want to, find a degree or a bend or I'm doing a horrible job of describing it. You'd have to watch the video I watched.
I just use tape measure.
Well, no, this is far beyond the tape measure.
About
This
right.
is, yeah, I mean,
Well,
yeah, I
I was
use tape measure too, 30 thou, 16.
I was a math major, so I calculate, but natural log and curves and area and all that shit.
Yeah, so I'd be curious to see next time we're all hanging out, I'll pull up the video and share it. And
Yeah, I'd like to fact check. Well, I mean, I'm sure it does it, I'm sure it does, and it's probably
well, this
easy.
is their release of it. They're showing they will kind
Yeah.
of do a few things and show you what it's capable of. And I was like, wow, like,
Mhm.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Next time we're
Well, like if you want to measure, like, let's say you wanted to cover, like I used this one time when I was living in an apartment, townhome, because I didn't want to, they wouldn't let you cut holes in the wall, or if you did, you had to, have it patched or whatever. So I had this corrugated cardboard, where it was bendable. And I was wanting to measure the, like, how wide do I need this cardboard to curve and fit, down. And you can use like the LN function and stuff, the natural log, to figure out, the curve space, and like how much space do I need? And you have to cut it in half because you're measuring a circle, type thing. And will the wires fit? How big does this thing? Because I wanted it as small as I could make it. But
yeah,
I
but that's
want
pretty basic
area on
shit
the
there.
inside. I know, but that's what I'm talking about is, you can, I mean, if you just want to eyeball it, yeah, sure. But if you want to make it as small as possible to make it where it just fits over everything, then you got to, the, better your calculation, the better it'll be. Anyway, there's a cat. There's a dog. Squirrel. No, he talks
Where's
to the
Jimmy
dog.
C at?
He
Doris?
actually just walked by. I think he's going to the bathroom.
Mm.
I got it.
You ain't using the bottle, huh?
No.
That's what I'm assuming.
Huh?
I said I'm assuming he came down because he's hungry. That's what I'm assuming.
Uh,
Oh.
I'm gonna make a grilled cheese tomorrow. I just have a craving.
Hmm.
Let Mama talk. Mama's been talking for the last 2 hours, Joseph. It's kind of nice to have somebody else talk.
Yeah.
Poppy has not seen a squirrel yet or a rabbit. Can't wait.
Mama got a rested voice.
Right?
That's right.
But I'm probably going to throw something in the microwave. I'm going to do some microwave cooking.
Jimmy C style.
It's just going to be a frozen. Oh, Lisa just lost power. She got some flooding going on.
I know she's been sending me pictures. That's what our town does too. That flooding. Our town will do that.
So let's see. This is what's going on in Lisa's part of the world. And they just lost power, she said, so.
Yeah.
Been like this for the last 3-4 days. It gets light and then it gets a torrential downpour, like bad, and then this, and then stops.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least the rain cools it off a little bit.
Yeah. I know we've been having some rain the last couple of days too. Like it rained most of today, off and on. All right, let me go let these two meatheads out and think of some food. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yes, I'm coming.
Hey,
Hey,
is Surfy coming up?
he said he was. He does have a link.
Oh, I was just wondering.
He has a link. Kane has a link. I doubt if Kane will click the link.
That's all right. I was just
Elizabeth
wondering.
has a link.
What about Joe's candles? I have a candle question.
Joe has a link.
It has a candle.
So she may be coming up. I don't know. I haven't.
Joe has
heard
a
back.
candle. I hope she hits or Joe has a link. I hope she hits the candle.
Right, me too.
I have a candle question. I hope she hits the link.
I'll be right back.
You're in charge, Kathy.
Yeah. You know, I don't like to be in charge.
Uh-huh.
Well, somebody told me I was talking too much, so I shut the fuck up.
Who told you were talking too much?
Oh, in the chat. Shut the fuck up.
Who told you
No,
that?
I'm adding up the entries from Thursday.
Nah, hidden always says you're talking too much. If it's hidden, you're talking about.
No. Joseph, when he said, shut up, let mama talk.
Oh.
But she has to have something to talk about first, Joseph. She has the floor right now. She ain't shit.
Yeah. Oh well.
John Queens.
Tell him about your John Deere.
What about my John Deere?
Oh yeah, that one with the jeans on it.
I don't have any stories to tell. They always come back and hit me in the ass anyway.
Sound like a fun time.
You know, we were talking earlier about your, selling that gun and stuff and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And I was saying that I have a painting of my mother that this one guy, I don't know who it was. It was supposed to be some famous guy in the area, or I don't know, that had painted my mother's painting. And if somebody at this time would come up to me and say, "Hey, Kathy, I'll I'll give you 50,000 or 100,000 for your mom's painting," I'd say, "Here, take it. Give me the money."
Joseph, they're talking about me. You guys are talking about me.
No,
No, he's talking about Kathy being his mama right
Oh,
now.
okay.
no.
Yeah,
So anyway,
That's all we talked about, Doris, while you were gone. Now we're going to change subject.
All right. Just making
So
sure.
anyway, so I would sell my mother's painting for 50,000 instead of keeping it. 100,000, whatever it is, I don't care. They here because if somebody's willing to pay that much money for my mother's painting, I know when I'm dead and gone, that thing is going to be taken care of. That painting will, so not
Very
that
true, Kathy.
because how, in the family, things get pushed around and moved around. And as the time goes on, people care less. My, my grand, some of my grandchildren had met my mother, a couple of them, and so they
Dang, what
know.
up?
But otherwise, when their kids have kids, they're not even going to know who the fuck she is. Her painting might end up in a yard sale somewhere.
Gavin Giant. What's up? Kane, rumor has it you have the link.
If I could have one day not listening to Kane and that motherfucking link, I'd be happy.
Well, I can't take back what I said.
No,
Sorry.
you can't.
No, it's done. Therefore, Kane, you got the link, my man.
Keep it up.
Wicked Insanity. I'm surprised I was able to read that. Wicked Insanity.
Yeah, Mikey. Durfee, aren't you coming up? I thought you were going to harass me. See? He found out that I'm a ball crusher. Now he knows better.
Kane, kick the link, Kane. Click the link.
Fucking hell. Did you hear that comment I made to Cody?
No,
No, she wasn't.
I didn't have my headphones on.
I said I'd like to go one day when we're live on here, if somebody doesn't say click the link, Kane. Continuous.
I'm sorry, Kathy.
Then you come back and you'd say click the link, Kane.
I heard I swear I heard a little boop when you were away.
No.
Oh.
Well, you might have heard me opening the door and closing the door. I let the dogs in and out.
Yeah. Surfy gets
So,
scared.
Joseph, you wasting time watching AEW?
Anything exciting happen in the wrestling world tonight? Or is it just
Tonight, yeah. Well, tonight we saw Jacob Fatu make his debut. He's the
Jacob
son
Fatu?
of Umaga. Yes, he's the son of Umaga.
Oh, yeah.
If you know who Umaga is, he looks just like him. Just like him. And they've been saying that he was going to come to WWE soon to be part of the Bloodline storyline. And he made his debut tonight. That was really the only thing exciting that happened. Drew McIntyre beat up CM Punk. So, as I said on Monday, I didn't really think he quit. I thought it was part of a storyline. And there he is. Gavin, how are you?
Did you like that little video of them at the WWE wrestling?
I did.
Fuckers. I mean, you got to admit, a man to take all those boys,
Yep.
he's I know he's been in a war, but that many boys.
Jimmy is in the bathroom, I believe, Kane. Surf's in the chat, Kane. Where are you, Kane?
You're lucky that Surfy didn't try to come up here while you were gone, because I wouldn't let him up.
Well, that was one of my fears, that
I
you
know.
wouldn't let him in.
Oh, Kane didn't get any entries on Thursday.
I was like, if Kane clicks the link or Surf clicks the link, she's not gonna let him in.
Well, you know what? I would have for Kane. That way I didn't have to hear, click the link, Kane. Click the link.
Kane, no steal. Click the link, Kane.
I'm sorry, Kathy. I'm sorry. I don't see Surf. Surf, you lurker. He was in the chat, Kane.
I know.
He was talking about how much work he got done today, and he said that he might be up, but
Well, he said he would be up. So.
right. But he is old. Maybe
He says,
forgot what
I'll
he was
be up
doing.
in a bit to harass QKB. That's the exact
Yep.
words.
Well, yeah, but then you fall asleep in the recliner, and it happens.
If he has any time that he can harass me, he's not going to miss it.
Nope. Nope, he not.
And for the record, I have a bad habit of falling asleep in the recliner. So
I do too,
Yeah.
Bourbon. My blanket's there, as you see. If I cover myself with that blanket and lay back watching TV, more
yeah.
often than not, I'll end up falling asleep and I'll wake up like in the middle of the night, like 4 a.m, and go, do I want to go to bed?
See, all these mattress companies like Serta, Sealy, all that, and they charge all this money for the sleep number bed. The recliner is the most comfortable piece of furniture in your damn house.
I'll have to say, in our nursing home, that was a big thing. And even in the activity room, we had this area where we had recliners all lined up.
Mhm.
And we would have to move them to the recliner. And you got them
There
all
he
in
is, Kane. There's a
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot raid.
It's a
Kind of.
rare sighting back there.
Sam Squanch.
Yeah, I was
Yep,
gonna say
rare
if you have
sighting of
a
the Sam Squanch.
if you have a recliner, you've earned the right to fall asleep in it. Because I've only seen recliners in like my grandparents' place. And
Especially my recliner, this new one, because it's got heat, massage. It actually has a sleep button that it will lay you completely flat because it's an anti-gravity chair. Oh my God, Kathy, close your eyes, Kathy. Close your eyes.
Oh no.
Thank
no. Oh.
Hell, I sleep. That's the only thing I sleep in is a recliner.
I've never even owned one. Yeah, I don't.
I'm going to tell you, the butler sure loves his recliner. That's for damn sure.
Yep, I like mine.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I have a double recliner. I have like a triple, like a sofa with a fold down thing.
Oh, you have one of those?
Yeah, but it's because I used to have theater seats in here, and they were cheaper. And no one, like when we first got the theater screen and all that, we used it a lot, and then we don't use it anymore. So I just went on ahead and got a leather sofa thing with a fold down console. So I sleep on one end of it, and the other end's that holds my blanket for at
So do
night.
you like? Because I've been wanting to get a new couch, but I've been looking at like a sectional,
Nah.
the L shape. But I've also been looking at those, like the full size couch that has the two recliners. Kind of like, well, that's kind
I've had
of.
those. But the sectionals, unless you plan on keeping it exactly where you put it,
Right.
that's okay. but sectionals, if you ever want to rearrange,
That makes it hard.
it does, and then it always makes it look like it's not together.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
I've
now they're
had 'em.
making them to where you can take them apart and flip
But they don't look right. We were actually
Yeah.
talking about that the other day on Jimmy's stream. Like
Yeah.
they never look right if you separate them. You can
Well, I mean,
separate them.
Well, yeah, and they make them now to where you can take like the
Oh, the
sectional
modular,
part and
yeah.
flip it, yeah, to the other side to where you can.
Yeah, but you can't walk between them. I mean, I don't know. You have
No, yeah.
versatility because they make them like a love seat with like a fixed console.
Hmm.
Mine's actually a whole sofa with a flip down. Like I can flip it up and but I don't want to sit that close to people. So this console just stays down all the time, you know.
And see, I like that's another thing is yeah, like a full size couch that has a middle.
Mhm.
But where I want to put a sectional is the only place I can put that's why I want a sectional is the way it is. Like I have a leather chair and a couch, and it's like a sectional. So I don't know. But yeah, if I ever moved,
Well, right. The section would be good because you're not going to move it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
And
say this though, with the sectional, they don't tend to have more than arms on the ends. And I like having two armrests
mhm.
and
well, see,
yeah.
I right now I have like an oversized love seat. It's a big, like I can't reach
Mhm.
my arms out and touch both sides. It's a big love seat. And then I have a very nice leather chair that I'll be very upset if I have to get rid of. That's the main reason I haven't pulled the triggers. I love my leather chair. But I also want something I can lay down on, sprawl out and watch TV. With my couch and my chair, I can't lay down on either. So it's kind of
Right. I mean, but you wouldn't necessarily have to get rid of the leather chair. Just put it in a different. Can you put it in a different spot in
no,
your
I don't
living
have
room?
enough. No, I'm not on Bourbon's level yet. I don't have that much space. I don't have a theater room. No, I have a
Well,
spare room.
Well, I
Hey,
know what your home looks like, Cody, and it's a very, very nice home, and you keep it up nice, and you know, as a man, you really, really do keep it up nice.
I think
And
they call that OCD, but thank you.
well, and I know what that is too.
it's
But
clean.
you could get like just an extended couch than what you have, and you'd be able to sleep on that. You don't have to get a full sectional.
No, and I've been thinking, yeah, keep my chair and I can move it and I can buy like what Jody's talking. I can keep my chair and buy what Jody's talking about, a bigger couch that has the
That's what I
two
just said.
recliners.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an option.
But then if you got the two recliners, you're back to the recliner again. Then you got then you'll what end up having three recliners.
No, my leather chair is not a recliner. It's a really like nice modern like low. It's not a recliner. It's just a
Oh,
leather chair.
yeah, but then you're gonna have a chair and then actually two recliners, which are chairs.
But no one
But
will know
then,
they're recliners but me. It'll be a couch.
well, then do it.
Yeah. Well, the biggest part is finding something that matches it, like a brown leather that, yeah, all
Well,
right, I'll do it. I'll do it.
yeah,
I'll do it. I'll fucking do it.
yeah. You do it and like it,
I'll,
mister.
I'll like it.
Oh, Sam Squanch is back.
Yep, he is.
What's up, Jimmy C?
Cody said, "What's up?"
Who?
Cody.
Cody, what up, Cody?
He said, "What's up, Cody?"
Oh, I heard him sound like he was thrilled.
Yeah, what's he eating? What's he feeding you?
This is just a frozen meal that I had in the freezer.
That's what I have right there.
I thought maybe he whipped up one of those
Uh-huh.
roast beef sandwiches that he
Yeah.
teriyaki sauce.
Look at
No.
Yeah, that's
look
nice.
at yeah.
And look at all the packaged stuff on my pub table back there because I'm trying to ship all these prizes out. But that's
Yeah, that's all that's coming to me, right?
one of them is, yeah.
One of them is the rest are mine.
Now I can turn this
You
camera.
ain't lying about that.
No, those are my giveaways.
Yep.
Where'd you get that couch at, Jody? Was it
Oh,
a
It was a local furniture store, but I mean, I forget the brand. I mean, I can get you the brand. I mean, they sell them in other places, you know.
the one that I won from Marty. Um, you can just have him send it to you, and we can do that as a giveaway too.
Sure, I'll take it. Thank you, Kathy. I
Talking to
appreciate that.
you.
Well, I don't. I'll have to contact it. I don't know if he's already sent it. I
Uh,
don't know how fast he is.
well, if he sent it to me, that's fine. I can drink
Yeah,
it. I can drink it. I can share it with Billy.
yeah.
But you already give him my address?
Becca.
No, I don't think I did. So
Well,
no,
then you ain't sending it then
Oh,
yet.
send it to you then. So I know he's pretty quick about sending stuff out, but I got to go pick.
how are you, Becca?
I think my chat isn't moving on my phone.
Uh-oh. Joseph has no dirty kitchen tonight because they had a
Mm-mm.
pizza party today and his boss told him to take home
Yeah, it didn't
pizza.
move.
You want to talk about one of the best accents on YouTube? Becca's got it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know some other ones as well that has them. Oh, I got family that has them like that.
Yep, there's definitely a lot of people.
Yeah.
Whiskey woman.
So Kathy, see this? It's an or cookies and cream brownie.
Oh.
Some of those are in Abel's box.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Mm. You know, when the boys come out and say hi as they walk past me, get into the snack shack, and I'm looking around, I don't see them anymore. They've done taken off.
Well, they only wanted a snack. Whiskey, how are you, Whiskey?
And I did tell you earlier, I
Yes,
talked to
whiskey.
Abel and I said something about you doing and he goes, I'd like to get up there with her sometime. And he goes, when's her next one? I said, I don't know. And then when you did it today, I'm thinking, well, I haven't heard from him today. So,
So I'll have to, the next pay-per-view,
uh-huh.
he can probably join me. Let me see when that's going to be. I know it's Money in the Bank. Hmm.
Whiskey Woman 5. Who is Whiskey Woman 5?
That's
Been
Whiskey.
around, yeah, whiskey woman.
No.
She's been around here for a long time.
Oh wow, I haven't. I mean, does she not like free stuff? I mean, she can come over on my channel sometime. I just didn't see.
Mhm.
Anytime I see the word whiskey in someone's name, I'm like, oh hey,
Yeah.
Mr. Bourbon, Mrs. Whiskey.
there you go. Hello.
I don't think
So
I've ever seen her up on a
July
panel.
1st.
And Becca just won the 24 note Noza kit, the last giveaway.
July 21st. That's a what a
No, July
rest
1st. That's the next pay-per-view. I
the
don't know what
wrestling.
time yeah. I don't know what time it'll be, Kathy, because it's in London. So it'll probably be sometime in the afternoon.
Mm.
So how does that work? You order a pay-per-view and then other people can watch it with you?
Mm-mm. Not
Oh,
on YouTube.
No, you can't show it because they'll.
I do a watch along. That's what I do. So like I'll be watching it and other people if they come to the stream, they'll be watching it but some people still get it from the cable companies like Joseph. If you have the Peacock app, it's on the Peacock app.
Mhm.
So that's how some people watch it.
What do they charge for those things? Like $100+ bucks?
No.
No, usually it's like 60.
Yeah. But if you have like a Fire TV, like if you have Amazon account,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can tell you it's so easy to sign up for like Peacock, like $5.99 a month or whatever.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then like a week or two later, go on Amazon and just say, hey, cancel this. And you don't have to go through all their cancellation bullshit because Amazon just cancels it for you.
Yep.
It's like, we're not going to pay you anymore because they told us not to. And it's canceled. That's what that big TV over here is, a Fire TV.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever tried canceling YouTube TV. I know you have it. I tried canceling it once and I couldn't even, I gave up. I was like, oh, I guess I'm just gonna fucking keep it.
No, all you have
Like,
to do is go in and delete your payment on it.
nah.
That's it. It's not,
Stop the automatic payment.
just stop the automatic payment.
Well, they
And
don't have, you enter in your routing and checking account number.
no, I pay with credit card.
I pay with PayPal.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, we have a credit card. We just put it in and like we pay it off every month, but that's our like,
Yeah, you can go in and say, because it should ask you, you want to edit
change
your
my
payment.
method. Yeah.
And all you do is go in and delete what you have in there and don't put it in another one.
And it
And
knows.
then they'll cancel it once you don't make a payment.
Yep.
Have you done it with YouTube TV, Jody? Because I remember
Yeah, we
like they were,
canceled it. We canceled it because we were experimenting with stuff and we tried Hulu. You know, back when Hulu had the two different colors, like you could get the
Yeah.
orange or whatever, and the orange
Uh-huh.
was like sports heavy and the other one wasn't, or vice versa, whichever.
Right.
And we were more interested in the sports stuff, but we switched to Hulu for like a week. And well, we kept it for a month, but it was bullshit compared to YouTube TV. So we went back to YouTube TV. But yeah, we canceled it. And my wife just went in and said, delete the payment method.
yeah,
And
so you must not have done it. That explains, yeah, because you can't just go into the app. They don't, you have to go into your Google. Yeah, I've tried. And then you delete it from your Google. You have to, anyway, that's no, you're no there. But I had a hard time when I tried, but
yeah. Because the thing with the YouTube TV, I don't know, they may have changed it now because this has been like 2 years ago we tried that. But used to, I mean, because there's no contract, there's no nothing. You sign up for it, it's pay to play. You pay, you get it for a month. If you quit paying, you know get no more. You know.
but I use, maybe you don't use your Google for your, like I use my YouTube's attached to my Google, so anything I do on YouTube or YouTube TV, I have to go into my Google. Well, yours too, right?
Well, yeah, but I have different accounts. Like I have my account, and then I have Bourbon Bounty. And Bourbon Bounty, I have the Google AdSense and everything, but that's my real name. But that's how I get paid, for YouTube channel and all, is through Google AdSense. And so, but that's all separate. I keep all of that shit separate. My wife's usually the one that signs up with her account for the TVs and stuff. Cause I have to keep the tax stuff separate because I have to like show my expenditures. If whatever I make in a year, which ain't much, it won't even pay for a Honda Civic on a monthly payment. But we keep up with it so that it doesn't go like I don't have to pay income tax. Yeah, so.
Little whiskey woman. You go outside.
I'm trying to see Cody.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Chemical.
That's another way to do it, Becca. Yeah, if you change your payment method to like a debit or credit card, and Google or YouTube TV is trying to make it hard, then you can call your bank and say, hey, my card was lost. Send me another one. And just leave that in there as the payment method. And then they'll send you some emails threatening that they're going to cancel it. And then they'll just shut it off when they
Yeah,
don't.
I've done that with other stuff, but yeah, then you gotta, anything else that's linked to that, you gotta go in there and
Mhm.
re-enter the number, and it's
Yeah,
almost just
yeah.
as much as a pain in the ass than just figuring out how to fucking, and
Oh,
I
you can
even went in
also,
customer.
oh, what bank do you use? Oh, you don't have to give me your routing and account number or anything, but I was just saying, like, if you can call your bank and say, deny the charge or I don't
Right.
want to pay this number.
When I do, I have an Apple credit card that I use for all my online stuff, and they're really good about anything that I question. They'll reverse it, and even if I'll still get sent stuff, and so they're really good about that, taking care of cancellations and whatnot. And a lot of times you can go into your Apple account, see your subscriptions, and then just hit cancel, and they cancel it for you. But for some reason, YouTube TV, I don't know.
How
So, Cody,
Listening.
How
I've
long
been
ago did you do it? How long ago did you do that?
Do what?
To try to cancel it.
It was after football season, so it
did
was
you
probably
Oh, no, I was just saying because maybe if like you made a payment, like say for a month, and you
no.
still got it, you'll if you've already paid for it for the month,
right, you'll have it for the month if
Well,
you
Right.
they'll still
already
give me the option to cancel it. Yeah, it was like March, April.
Oh, okay.
because on my account, like it says pause, cancel.
Yeah, I mean that's what when I log
So
in.
maybe that's another. I need to pull it up on my laptop because I always just do it on my phone.
Oh
Right.
And it
I
yeah,
went to
says,
we
my
always
because you
do
have to
everything.
go to your Google account
Yeah,
okay,
to
well,
see
that's, yeah.
and click see subscriptions, and then it'll pull up the YouTube TV.
yeah.
So
But
I would do it from my
what's
laptop.
that? What's that thing they've been advertising on TV? It's some app you can download. I haven't done it. I was just asking to see if anyone has done it, and it says
Whiskey.
show you all your subscriptions, and you can cancel them from the app and all
Oh
that.
yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah, but you also have to
Oh,
pay for that.
yeah, you have to pay for that, I
Oh,
believe.
you have to pay for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it goes through, and I believe it'll only ask you if you want to cancel apps or subscriptions if you don't use it.
Hmm.
So you can't just go in there. That's another good thing. Bert, if you have Apple and an Apple credit card, like yeah, any subscriptions that go to your app, you can just go in there and cancel subscription.
Yeah.
Like all the other stuff I have, no problem. I just go into my settings, subscriptions, cancel, fucking done.
Yeah, I think
So
that's it, Mike. Rocket.
Yeah, I'll rock it.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it only does it if you don't. I don't know. I don't have it.
I don't
But
know.
from the
But
way that I understand the commercials, it'll cancel apps and charges that you're not using that you're
or
still
you can
paying
tell it to
for.
cancel. But anyway, that's what they say on the commercial anyway. But the hardest one I ever tried to cancel was Sirius XM because I have YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
So on the Bourbon Bounty account, so you get YouTube Premium music with the YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
And I didn't need Sirius XM because my phone connects to my car and it just plays YouTube music. And
Yeah.
so the hell do I need Sirius XM for? And Sirius XM, when I was listening to that, it plays the radio version of songs and I get full X-rated, unrated version.
A funny story about that. That's one I had to cancel my credit card over because I couldn't cancel it. And then I would cancel my credit card or get the number changed and they would call me. It's like, no, I don't use it. It was like $25 a month. And then, oh, what if you do this? Oh, and then they would get down. It was like, well, what if it was $2.99 a month? And I was like,
So
all
in
right.
other words, Cody, you're
And
a
I'd sign back.
softie.
Yeah,
No,
so I'd sign
You're a
back up and then I'd have to
softie.
do the same thing. It would run out
Right.
and then
And
I would
it's
have
gonna go
to
back
cancel
up
my
to
credit card.
regular.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd
Well,
cancel my credit card because that.
yeah, the last time I called Sirius, because I told them to cancel it on chat, and they tried to tell me that I had used it past when I paid, so I had to pay for the whole next month. And I said, fuck off completely because I didn't use it. And they said, oh, is it in your car? And I said, yeah, but it's not on there. I'm listening to YouTube music. And they're like, oh, yeah, but when you start your car, it plays.
That's
And
how
I'm
they
like,
get you.
and I said, nope. Because and I showed them the cancellation thing from a chat I had like a month earlier, and they had to honor it. I said, if you don't honor this, the next person you're going to talk to is my lawyer, which is actually my wife, but
Yep.
but because she
Sirius
is
XM is a hard one to get out of.
But they gave me the real confirmation number then, and it's been canceled. They're not bugging me now. They just bug my email, even though I try to block them. I get sign back up, sign back up, sign back up.
We miss you. I get emails like that from subscriptions that I've canceled. We miss you.
Yeah.
Just click here for a special introductory price.
Yeah,
Sirius
we give
XM
you
is worth
6
$3
months
a
for
month.
$1.99 plus tax.
But not if you don't use it.
Yeah.
Well, I did. That's the thing is when it was like $3 a month, I didn't, and that was the thing is like I used it, but not enough to justify paying $20 a month. But $3 a month, that's nothing. And it was nice if you go up in the mountains, it's a satellite radio. So when your normal radio or your internet connection goes out, you still had that worked a lot better. And so I paid $3 for it all year long, but you have to hackle with them to get that. And then after 6 months, they jack it up. And
I hear ya. What you
The
need to do,
internet cable
Cody,
does
is
it.
you need to next time you need to ask Kathy if she'll talk to them for you. Tell them you got to speak to my mother.
Yeah, speak to
She's
my lawyer.
She's my financial advisor. She gives me an allowance.
You gonna talk to him for me, Kathy?
You like, yeah. Yeah.
She said, if you like.
Oh.
My actually, Billy will say, Mom, you don't need to know how many children those people have and what schools and how old they are.
They'll accept your cancellation just for Kathy being nosy.
and they don't need to tell you what they're eating for supper tonight. And he goes, get on there, do your business. You don't need to have a long conversation. How long you've been married, if you're single, what kind of woman are you looking for? And Billy gets, there was a time Ma called, no, you're not calling. You should be on there with an hour with them. I could get on there for 5 minutes and get on and off, and that'll be it.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have Xfinity where you're at.
No, we used to have it back home.
Well, yeah, they're the same way. Like, you'll get this deal for the first year or two.
If you try to cancel,
price way up. Well, and then all you have to do is call and say, hey, and they're like, okay, well, we'll do, and it's like they already know it's coming. I don't even know I don't even know why they bother jacking your price up.
When we owned our last house in Nashua, so the way our house was set up, the old owners had done like an in-law apartment, and their family lived there, but they basically set it up as A and B. So even though it was technically a single house on all the city books, it was down as a multifamily. And every summer, the salesman would come by, and we had the same salesman for like 2 years. Every time they had a promotion, he would stop by the house, and he would cancel the account in whatever unit we were in on Xfinity, and he would create a new account on the other unit, so we always got the deal. And it was
that's nice.
He would do it because for him, he don't care. He's making a sale.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, and then he found out that Jimmy's sister-in-law was like a manager in Xfinity, and he's like, please don't ever tell her I do this. We were like, why would we? You're benefiting us. Why would we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joseph, that's what I'm talking about. So
Yep.
yeah, when it was started out at 85 and it went up to
Yep.
172, yeah, just
And
call
that's
them and
what it
say,
is. Like yeah, Joe.
and they'll drop it right back down. They'll give you another promotion of
If you tell
whatever
them
it's.
you're gonna cancel Joseph because it's too much money, they'll put you on a preliminary
Well, and if
price.
they ask what you're
Yeah, you
willing
have
to
to.
pay, you say, I can get YouTube
No, they
TV
don't.
for this plus tax, and I can get all these channels. So why would I want to pay you more? They will charge you exactly what that is.
No,
Yeah.
they don't. They don't. They just have like season, like for the
Right. They
first
have
year or
seasonal
two, you'll,
promos.
yeah, so they'll have
And they'll
packages.
put you in that promo, but it won't last. It'll
Yeah, it
go
lasts
up.
a year or two. Like
Like,
right
and
now,
that's sorry. That's like when they do the free HBO and Cinemax. They don't tell you that unless you cancel that, you're
Yep.
going to start getting
Oh,
charged for
you'll
those
get charged
packages.
for it. Yep.
They don't tell you that. And their hope is that people forget that they have free HBO and Cinemax and all that by the time that subscription ends.
Yep.
or like Joe, it bumps up to 100. When I moved in here a year ago, I got unlimited internet, good internet for $55 a month. And I couldn't remember if it was a year or two. And so when I came up on a year, I called and was like, hey, luckily it's 2 years because I was expecting to jump up. But after 2 years, they're gonna skyrocket, and I'll have to
Oh,
call and say, hey, I can't, I'll go somewhere else if I'm gonna have to
Yep.
pay this, and they'll drop it back down.
I used to do that all the time. Even in New Ipswich, I would do it. I would call them and be like, my husband's out of work. I can't afford to pay this anymore. I have to start cutting some of my bills, and they always would. They would give me a special price and tell me it would be good for a year or whatever.
yeah,
And
but
then I would cancel it for like a week or so and then come back and be like, I just can't afford it. And
Well, now you got so many options. You can literally go somewhere else and get a better
right.
deal.
yeah,
Or
Sirius
like,
XM promised me I was going to get the platinum. The what is it, $29.99 plus tax or whatever. It's like it ends up being like $36 altogether. And
Oh, you got that Howard Stern channel.
well, it came with the car, and I got it for free for 3 months because I bought the brand new car, and
Mhm.
they sent me a thing that said, "Hey, for $1.99, we'll give you 3 extra months or whatever on top of that." So I did that, and then they had me hooked in, and then I called them and I said, "Nah, I'm going to cancel it." Well, what would you be willing to pay? And I said,
Yeah.
I said about $6. And so I said, look, I only listen to like two stations. And they
Mhm.
kept asking me what stations. And I said, doesn't matter. I only listen to two. And I know the two is on basic that I listen to. I said, and if you can't look at your screen and tell me what I'm listening to, I know you can. I said, then whatever. I said, you know what I listen to. You can look at it. And so they gave me $6.99, and every month it went up $1 until I noticed it at like $11.99. It was gonna keep creeping up, and that's when I started canceling it.
See, they
Yep.
didn't do that to me. They had me hooked because I did, for what I was paying, it was worth it. And every time they'd jump it up, I'd call and they would just, well, what are you willing to pay? I was paying like $2 or $3 a month for
Yeah.
Sirius XM, which I mean, but the last time that it happened, they reactivated it, but they never activated it. And then I'd call and say, hey, well, it's not working in my car. Oh no, it's showing activated. And then at that point, I was just like, well, I'm done. I'm over the every 6 months fucking haggling with you guys, and now this, like, whatever. I'm done.
Yep. Done.
Yeah, that's like when I worked for DirecTV. I got everything for like, I think it was $15 a month.
Yeah.
And when I stopped working for DirecTV, my office closed. And we all got laid off. It took them like a year to realize I didn't work for them no more. And then finally they canceled it and they called me and they were like, we're going to have to either cancel or make you a regular customer thing. And I went through with them. I'm like, all right, but I don't want everything I have as an employee. This is what I want, the basic. And they ended up keeping me under everything that I had as an employee. That was Sunday ticket. They tried taking $400
Yeah.
out of my checking account. And I called my bank and I was like, absolutely not. Do not give them that money. I'm like, and I told them, I'm like, I explicitly told you people, I did not want, I'm not paying for that shit. You
And,
told me it was going down to a basic package, and that's what I'm paying for.
but
Sunday
they
ticket's like
do
300
this
bucks.
to all of us, and yet I was watching a thing about yachts, just because I'm never fucking ever going to afford one. So I just wanted to live vicariously through YouTube and watch about these mega yachts. That's where they make most of their sales, the direct TV and the satellite, the Sirius XM and all that.
Right.
And they pay
And truck drivers, boats, yep.
exorbitant prices for that shit.
Because they can pick up TV anywhere. It doesn't matter where they are.
And I was like, God,
Seth, how are you? But yeah, but those people also,
Seth?
those people are rich. They don't
oh yeah,
care.
they don't care. I mean,
You know what I mean?
$400 a month is like
Right.
5%.
It's a drop in the bucket to them. So they could
Yeah,
care
it's like
less
4
if they're
pennies a
paying
month to me.
$400 on something. Right.
My
It's
humidor
like,
costs $400 and something, and I'm not going to buy one of those every month. It's like a special
yep.
treat. Now
But
we were
yeah,
talking
I
about those
mean,
guns earlier. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
that's all right. I was just gonna say
Oh,
that
okay.
it's crazy what rich people will pay for when they don't even use it, and
I
they're
know.
like,
Well,
"Yeah, so what?"
one of them had a Ferrari on his yacht that they have to like be mindful to when they get to dock to like pull it out and drive it so the oil will stay good in it. Who does that? Just it sits there, for
Only
but
somebody that has the money
yeah.
and just wants people to look at it as they go by on their yacht.
Yeah. Now Cody and we were with Kathy over there before we came over here, and we were talking about guns, and I was talking about keeping the small shotguns and game gun. I said I sold my Weatherby 30-06, and because I didn't want to shoot big game anymore, like deer. Because for me, it's not shooting the deer. It's not that. It's I had to clean it. I got to process all the meat,
Yeah.
quarter it up, and I'm too tired for that anymore. But I wanted to go get rabbit and squirrel, and it brought it back because Becca was in the chat earlier, and I was talking with Becca a few months ago, and we were swapping recipes on rabbit. That's what I was, biscuits and gravy and rabbit, and so
That's
now I got a
funny.
now I got a craving. I don't know.
Traded big game hunting for some lawn mowing.
Well, small game. I'll still hunt small game. That's why I want some squirrel and rabbit.
Right, they're easier to process.
I've never had squirrel.
Jimmy's had squirrel. I've never had squirrel.
I've had
I'll
rabbit.
t-
I've never had squirrel.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. Well, not all rabbits are equal, and not all squirrels are equal, right?
I
So
believe that.
if you're going to hunt squirrel, you want the gray, little gray
Yeah.
squirrel, the little tender meat. Because if you get the red squirrel, they're tough, they're hard to skin, and all that. And then rabbit, you want the little cottontail. You don't want the big swamp rabbit. I mean, swamp rabbits are good. You get a lot of meat, but they're harder to skin. And we always cube the meat. We run it through a meat cuber to tenderize it because they're just tough. And
Isn't eating like squirrel like eating a frog leg? It's just or like eating a crab leg. It's just more
well,
work than it is.
no, I can quarter gray squirrel up, but okay, I'll put it to you like this. When I was, and I was in the military and I was stationed in Japan, and I only got to come home once a year. and I would take 45 days leave and come back to Arkansas. And of course, my days and nights were swapped around, so it was easy for me to adjust to a get up at 4 a.m. type thing. And I'd get up and I would take a 12 gauge shotgun and a pocket full of shells, and I would drive out to Dad's lease, and I would kill 8 squirrel. That was my limit. I would kill 8, and I would bring them home. I would skin them out, quarter them, and fry them. Little egg wash with some flour and all that, and fry them up. And then I would take them out, throw a little butter in that pan behind the squirrel, and then make gravy, make a white like pepper gravy, and then I would throw the biscuits in. And when it all got done, I had biscuits, gravy, and squirrel, and I could eat all 8. But I mean,
That's what
I,
I'm saying. So you had to eat all 8 for a meal.
I might have a few pieces left over, but yeah, that was pretty much it. But they were so tender and good. And I would just go do that every day and come home and eat lunch, and I was good to go.
Yeah, I want to try it.
Yeah, but I use the number 8 field load, and I always aim right out here on the tip of the nose, and hit them like with shot in the eye or whatever, and don't mess the meat up.
Yeah, some of those air rifles they have now are pretty wicked.
Yeah. But I would like it sometimes I'd get in this pin oak flat, and it was moss on the ground. And so that time of year I could walk real quiet because it was mossy, and I could just slip up by a tree, and all of a sudden I would see four to 6 squirrels jumping around, and I would pick one and boom, and I would get like, with a pump, and I would get 3 in one go, and then they all go hide. And then you go pick those up and then go prop back and be quiet again. They all start coming back out. But
So this was an honest question. Has anyone tried moose?
goose?
Moose.
Yes.
Oh, moose. Yeah, I've had moose meat. Yeah. Tough.
That's what I did. So, all right, tough.
I mean, it doesn't have a lot of fat on it. I mean, that and elk's tough.
What part? What'd you try, Dort? You had moose?
No, we had caribou.
Caribou?
Yeah, we've had caribou, bear, deer, obviously.
Oh, venison. Yeah. All
Elk.
over.
Yeah, and wild pig.
Yep, boar. Yeah. There's a place in Louisville called Game. It's a restaurant. It's called Game. And they sell all exotic, game meat there. You can get the bison patties and, elk and all that stuff. But what I've had where we processed it, mostly deer, but we haven't. Like I grew up in Southeast Arkansas. We didn't have bison. We didn't have elk. We didn't have moose.
Bison's good.
Oh yeah, it's good. But we didn't have the option to go get that. But I've had wild boar or wild pig because we had bow hunt and shoot those. But we'd always just brine a ham on one of those and cure it, salt cure it. Yep, loved it growing up. Yep. It helped shape me. Now we had beagle dogs growing up. My dad would always keep rabbit dogs. We would go out on the ditch rows and all that and let the dogs run the rabbits out. And that was always the cottontails and all. But we would hunt and fish, and we would hunt like several times. And we would collect the meat. We would clean it, get it in freezer bags and everything. And we did the same thing when we went crappie fishing. and we could catch, limit was, I think back then 30 a piece. So Dad and I would come in with like 60 crappie, and 60 crappie is 120 fillets, but depending on the size of the crappie. But we would just bag all that stuff up and then call when we got a bunch of bags, we would just say, hey, we're gonna have a fish fry, and then the whole family would come over.
Don't mind me. I'm looking into something for
Oh
somebody.
no. And bass fishing. I always love bass fishing. We always use like the Carolina rig with the rubber worm with the slip sinker above it and bop it along. And man, I've caught some huge bass on those things. And it's a eagle claw hooks, spider wire. Get that 30-pound test spider wire on there. Yes, it eats through the eyes of your rod, but I'd use an ugly stick and I just replaced the little eyelets on the rod. But I didn't lose a fish. If I hung him, he's coming in. Or her. Usually the big ones you get are female bass.
Kathy,
Kathy, where did you go, Kathy?
I'm
Kathy
right
went,
here.
oh, I thought she went to sleep in her recliner.
No,
I thought she was climbing up in her John Deere.
no, I was just doing some things and didn't want to make the noise.
Mm.
Playing with the old Roberto flingaling.
No, sometimes when I'm cutting cardboard and stuff, it can get loud.
Yeah, I have that same problem.
Got me a bag of Funyuns from the store.
Onions.
Yeah.
All these notifications on my phone. Oh, I got a new knife. Oh my gosh. I got to tell y'all about these knives. They are so good. On Amazon, look up Knife Saga, all one word. Those are excellent knives.
Are they
Don't,
kitchen knives?
yeah, there's like chef knife, meat knives. They have
Mhm.
one. They're Japanese steel. They are freaking awesome. And they're affordable. They're not $150, $250 for per knife. They're like
That's
35,
35
$40.
bucks.
Yeah, they are awesome, dude. And the reason I say they're awesome is because they balance well, right where they're supposed to balance. You can prop it across your finger,
Mhm.
and and it's a full tang all the way through the hilt. And that wood is beautiful on it, but they're a nice weight and they are razor freaking sharp. Be careful when you first get it, because if you just touch it to your hand, you got blood droplets coming.
I have so many knives, but I'm gonna have to buy one just to see.
They are great. And I took a chance on it, and because I was going to visit my parents in Arkansas, and they're notorious about not ever, because they live on fixed income, so they don't buy a bunch of stuff. And so I bought a saute pan, a chef's knife, and some other things to send there because I was going to do a lot of cooking while I was there. And I wanted to use equipment that felt good in my hand that I was comfortable with. And gosh, I was so impressed with that damn knife when I was there. I bought the $40 one, the one that's flat, got the flat end on it, like a cleaver looking thing to slice steak with.
Yeah, they got some you can just buy a set for 170, which is pretty good. That's
Yeah, it's
about
pretty good. I mean, when you look at J.A. Hinkle, the and all that, I mean, these are cheap compared to that, and I guarantee you, they are fantastic, dude.
that's the one you bought.
That's the one I just bought for me, the one I bought for her was like the one that comes up like a chef knife, you know, the long chef
Yeah,
knife. I think it was like 35 or whatever. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
the one I
that's-
used in Arkansas. Yeah. No, I just had an alert on my phone saying it had shipped. It'll be here tomorrow. So, you know, 1 day delivery.
Nice. Coolest fishing is common here, but you need a fishing license. You need a fishing license here too, Gavin. In a
Well,
lot of states, you do.
I think that's pretty much almost every state, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
There
They
are
all
some,
have the- yeah.
right, up to a certain age in some of the places I've
Right.
lived in, like kids younger than 16 in
Right.
the
Yeah.
state of New Hampshire don't need one.
Right.
But most states, I believe you do need a fishing license and you can be fined if you don't have it, and they'll take your fish in a lot of
Yeah, the
places.
state wants their money.
When I was in the
Take your
military
fish.
in Arkansas, my home of record was Arkansas. So when I went back to visit in Arkansas, I could buy in-state fishing license, even though I was living in Japan. So, you know, it didn't cost me any extra.
So why
What,
the hell
someone
would
get
you
their fish-
buy a fishing license in Arkansas if you lived in Japan?
No. I
When
would
he
go
came back-
there for 45 days every year. And for like a 3-day fishing license costs like $45.
Yeah.
But I could buy the whole year for $12. But
Ah,
Arkansas was my home of record. So I just renewed my fishing license every year when I went back.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing here, Gavin. They usually don't, but they say that they can take any equipment. That's just like with hunting. If you're caught,
Yeah,
like,
and that's all circumstantial too. If
right.
you're on like private property and
Or if you hunt during non-legal hunting
Yeah.
hours, they can take whatever the game is, take your guns,
And they
take
will, yeah.
right, and they will. For the fishing, it depends on where you are. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. They'll usually always make you take your fish, Kathy, or make you throw your fish back if they're still alive.
Well, we had a place like if my brother would say, would you like to go up to Lake Erie and fish? You know, okay, you got to have your fishing license. But then we also had a friend that had a great big pond that, that had fish in it
Right.
because, it was their land. We didn't need fishing
Right.
license.
If it's on private property, you
Right.
don't need a fishing license.
No,
Like with Jimmy's Hunting Club,
right,
they stock their pond every year.
right.
And if you fish there and you're a member, you don't need a fishing license.
No,
Yeah.
So, but you're on private property.
right. Yeah, because, the government can't, well, as much as
Right.
they like to tell you what you can do and what you can't do, but yeah, they can't tell you that you can't allow people to fish on your own
Right.
land. It's
Yeah,
like
but all I
hunting as
had-
well. It's like hunting as well, that if I have a deer in my yard
Mhm.
and I want to shoot it, they can't say, well, you shot it out
Right.
of, it's on your property.
Some states say if it's a nuisance animal,
Right. I was going to say
Right.
in the state of New Hampshire, you have to prove it's a nuisance animal. And unless you are handicapped, you have to be the one to shoot that. You can't have like one of your friends come in and shoot it
well, even then,
without a license.
in some states, the Game and Fish says even if it's a nuisance animal, you can kill it, but then you have to call the game warden.
Right.
They come get it. You can't keep it.
Right.
Like, oh, it's eating. I have tomatoes growing, and they're eating all my fucking tomatoes. So I shot the son of a bitch.
Right. So you
That's
still
fine.
have to report
Right.
it. And
Yeah.
they usually like Bourbon said. I mean, I'm sure in some states they'll have parts where, like, if you choose, they'll give you an option to keep the deer, like if you hit a deer in the road. But I'm sure not all states are like that.
No, because some of them they have the people sign up like, hey, I'm on a fixed income.
Right.
I want the meat and everything, and they will take and give it to those
Right. And
people.
that's what New Hampshire has. New Hampshire has that list. And if they have a
Joe.
deer that was taken, good night, Joseph. And no one on that list wants it, in the state of New Hampshire, they'll donate the meat to a food kitchen.
Yep.
They'll have it processed and donate the meat.
And they actually take it to a butcher and have
Right.
it correctly processed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do here. Well, years ago, even then, they would give you the option, would, you know, do you want to keep it or do you want to donate
Right.
it? And then we have our local butcher here, you know, and then they would send the meat out to the children's home,
Yep.
and that's where they would send it to, you know, hey, you want to donate to the children's home food, fine, yeah.
Yep.
You know, how
They
many kids are you
killed
going to
7
feed there?
magnificent squirrels. Come get them for those kids.
If those deer would just read the sign and
Right. Read the fucking signs. Don't be like the moose.
But no, I mean, if squirrels are in your attic, you know, you can set traps, you can do whatever, you know, but technically
Hey, Nikki.
you're supposed to call game and fish or animal control or whatever.
Right.
yeah. Those
But
squirrels
yeah.
sure can get into your walls and stuff.
Yeah, and they can cause a lot of havoc, eating
Well,
electrical wires and
yeah, I
all
was gonna
that shit.
say, yeah, I guess where all your wires are, you know,
Right.
right through there, and yeah.
Or
Here's the-
even in people's cars. Like, I've heard
Honey.
it happens here quite often when people park there. Like, if it's a car they don't drive during the winter or whatever, squirrels will create a nest in the engine.
Yep.
And hide nuts and shit in it.
Oh yeah.
And then when
Yeah,
that
so-
person goes to drive it in the spring, it
Yeah.
don't start, and they got a freaking engine compartment full of nuts.
Or if it does,
Yeah.
it goes crackty, 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 and then there's squirrel fur going everywhere. Yeah, that's it got.
And rats will do it as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
rats
yeah.
will do it.
I was gonna say, even like my parents, when we lived out on that 10 acres in Texas, they had this covered thing put in where because they lived in a trailer on the property, and you know, over from the house, and so there was a circle drive we had graveled through there, but they wanted their car covered, so they just had like just a metal cover, and they would park under that and then walk into their house, and those little mice would get up in there, come through the vents and get in the car, and they would find mice in their van.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when we had the pop-up camper parked, we would every spring, when we would open the camper for the season, we would find little like nests in all the drawers or cabinets, or every year we would
Yeah.
end up having to clean it.
They fucking screw up your wires so bad.
I was worried here when we first moved here to North Carolina. We have chipmunks, little teeny ass fucking little, you know, the stripe down the back, fucking
like Chippendale. They look just like Chippendale.
And I'm like, and I'm not used to that, you know, because I'd never lived where they were prominent. But I see it; they're all over the place. But you know, they've knock on wood, they've never fucked with anything that matters. You know, they live under the shed.
Yeah.
I know there's a hole at the corner of the house that goes down below the foundation, but I don't give a shit, you know?
Right. I'm surprised I don't ever see, the chipmunks must not live here, because I don't ever see, back home, they were everywhere. We had more chipmunks in some places than we had squirrels.
Yeah.
And to this day, I've not seen a chipmunk here in North. I don't know if it's too cold or if it's because the ground's frozen most of the year, and that's where they usually live,
Yeah.
is in holes in the ground.
Yep.
My grandfather, he worked for the railroad, so he'd be out on the train for maybe a couple of weeks. So when he'd come home, and he gets in his truck and takes off to go to the store, and here he heard this noise, so he stops the truck, and here it's a cat got into the uh what am I talking about? The close it off. Let's say kids think right now the fan.
The fan.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
it got caught into the fan and it tore it up, and there's all this cat.
Cat guts all over it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and here was little babies, little
Oh,
kittens in there.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
and the thing was, so he takes the kittens out and he pulls back, and because they lived in a long lane, grandma and grandpa did. So he took them back and he showed my grandma. Now, the thing was, my grandma didn't have cats. Grandma and grandpa didn't have cats. So it must have been the farmer's cats or something that came over and got up in that truck and had the kitten while he was gone, because it sat there for a couple of weeks in the truck. So it must have went in there, and she must have had her babies, and well, she was nothing but pretty much meat, you know.
Ground beef.
Yeah, it's
Ground cat.
ground. Yeah, it would have been food in some countries, but
Mm.
yeah, and like Grandpa says, I don't have cats, but now I got to take care of these kittens.
Yep.
Yeah, because you don't know whose cat it was. First of all, it's not like you could point it out, recognize it was whose cat it was after it's been in the fan and all tore up. And who knows? It could have been a cat from 2 miles down the road.
Could have been.
Uh-huh.
But apparently there are chipmunks in North Dakota. I just haven't seen
Oh,
any because I just looked it up.
oh, yeah.
I just haven't seen any. I don't know if it's because I don't know.
Uh,
It's because
Jimmy.
you just haven't been by the woodpile, that's all.
Apparently,
I mean,
I've seen plenty of bunnies, plenty of squirrels, groundhogs, fucking turkey,
yeah.
There's this big,
birds up the yin yang.
there's this big fat cat that comes up in our yard and it
Is
sets
he
off
black and white?
it's kind of like it's a dark color, but it's like calico, but
Oh, okay.
it comes up, but it's
So
got
it's not Fat Thomas.
a pink collar on. But
Oh, he got a collar on?
yeah, so it's somebody's cat up the street, whatever. And he comes in our yard because we have a lot of chipmunks, and that cat, and it sets off my Ring doorbell. And I'll be sitting there at work and I'll be like, there's somebody at your front door, and oh, it's that fucking cat. And I'll watch it for a little bit. And it tries to catch those chipmunks, and those chipmunks just fuck with that cat. I mean,
Uh-huh.
they run up to it and like do like this karate like flying sidekick at it and bounce off of it, and they're just all over it, and they'll run up the side of the tree and turn around and bark at it, with their little yip yip
Uh-huh.
bark. And I get to watching that, and I'm like, shit, I'm late for my next meeting. I gotta hurry up.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's like the other day. Jimmy was working in the driveway doing something. And I went and I was watering my plants, and I'm looking, and Peter, the little baby rabbit, was right in the driveway, like less than a foot away from Jimmy. And I
Mhm.
was just like, look, he's not even afraid of you. I'm like,
Yeah, but you step within 5 feet of me and he takes off.
he ran away. Yep.
Uh-huh.
I walked over to get the hose and he fucking ran away.
Yep, Jimmy, that little rabbit don't know how good he tastes.
Right. Well, I figured.
Well, then I'm the motherfucker that feeds it.
Well,
If
yeah.
it was up to him, the fucking dogs would get it.
I'm gonna end up eating it one of these days.
Yeah. Let it get fat.
Yeah,
I
you know,
promise.
there's tons of them around here. I mean, freaking, it's not like the population is gonna miss one here and there, you know.
But I will.
Because they
It's
fuck
Peter.
like
He
rabbits.
comes on our deck. It's Peter.
Well, he
A
lives
squirrel
under
or
our desk.
a rabbit?
Here comes
The rabbit.
Yeah.
Peter Biscuit.
Yeah, we have like, we believe we have like 3 or 4 different families of rabbits that live in our yard.
Mhm.
Some of them are under our deck, some of them are under the camper. They hide from the dogs in the wood pile. They have
Mhm.
a little hole in the fence of our back fence that they run into the neighbor's yard when the dogs go out there.
I don't know. I was beginning to think that, the
Mm.
rabbits are rapid this year because a lot of people are talking about rabbits in their yards and,
Yeah.
you know,
We
Well, they
have
have
like
well,
so
they have
many.
that 7 year. They have, they're like one of them things that have a 7 year peak, and freaking
Hey,
something like that. Freaking.
hey,
Skater rabbits. That's what it is.
But
Thomas,
I think out here,
Thomas,
it's just the fact that there's plenty of habitat for them and not a
Thomas.
whole lot of predators.
Yeah, I will
Mm.
say this though. Earlier in the year, I was warning my son. He lives in Kansas City, and I'll warn y'all too. They were saying in about March, they said that the snakes were going to be big this year,
Yeah.
and if you live in the habitat of like copperheads, that the weather is going to be unusually warm this year, and it's playing it out, and snakes are going to be more active, and that
Hmm.
they're going, but they're territorial, so they spread out. And be
Yep.
careful around sheds and tall grass, and I
Hmm.
just figured out because it's starting to play out. I mean, we're seeing this heat dome over the United States. I mean, all of this is it's kind of becoming true.
mhm.
Watch your step.
Yeah.
Well, we've always had to watch that anyway when we
Hmm.
were on the farm. You
Oh
got to
yeah.
watch your buildings and
Well, and Kathy, you and I grew up with it, right? So
right.
we did, but what they're saying is because they're territorial, they're going to spread out,
Uh-huh.
and you're going to start seeing them in places you wouldn't normally be mindful of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Is all.
Yeah.
They start to travel.
Because it's warmer, man. It's
I was
warmer.
gonna say, especially where so many places had more of a mild winter.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's a
Now you were talking
whole
about that
other
big
battle.
wood pile with them rabbits in it. That's a snake habitat right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why
Yeah.
I stay away from the woodpile bounty.
You guys have a lot of snakes up there in North Dakota, though? It's pretty
No.
cold, huh?
No, no,
Not
we don't.
normally,
I
no.
haven't seen a lot, especially in the city. I mean, I'm sure on farms there are because I'm sure there's a
Yeah.
lot of corn snakes and things like that, but in the city, no.
Yeah, and with the copperheads and all, or cottonmouth, you're gonna see like this big, line up through the
Let's
middle of the
see.
United States and spreading out across the South. It probably won't get
Let's
that
see.
far.
Well,
Right.
apparently we have prairie rattlers and racers, the ringneck snake, uh, heterodon nuclear, whatever the fuck that is, brown snakes, green snakes, plain garter snakes,
God
a
damn.
gopher snake, bull snake, and the common garter snake. So yeah, that's
Right.
9, 10. We got 10 snakes in the state. So
Coors Light for the first time. Hell.
mhm.
You're a drinker, of course, like Seth. Well, cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Can't go wrong with the Coors Light.
That's what I
No.
drink. They all cost the same. Coors Light, Miller Light, Bud Light, wouldn't they keep naming them? All the domestic beer, they all cost the same. Just get whichever one you want. The only reason I buy this one because they're skinnier and taller and they fit in this koozie thing.
Uh,
Heat is a factor, but some spiders will come into homes. The brown recluse spider and maybe the adder snake here. Yeah, Gavin, recluse spiders are big here.
Mm.
And they're known to be in wood piles, basements, things like that. Which is also why I don't go in our basement. No.
Well, I tell you what, those
There ain't
brown
fucking
recluse-
nothing down there for me to go. You know, the only time I went down there is when I was worried about Thomas, and I went down to get Thomas. That's about it.
those brown recluse, if they bite you, you need to get that shit checked out within 3 days because that can
Right.
cause damage.
Yep. Yep. It's I believe if I remember right, it's a skin eating
Yeah,
venom. It'll
kills,
start eating your
yeah, it
skin.
kills all the cells. It keeps spreading. Yeah.
Where's
So
that
in the
little
case
thing local at?
they're pretty much everywhere that I know of.
What?
Brown recluse.
Brown, please.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
believe that was the only poisonous spider we had in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
Is a
but they
brown-
were rare, you know. Freaking,
Right.
Yeah.
You didn't see
You-
usually you saw them in woods and that's it.
You never heard of anyone getting bit by them either, you know.
Hell, I got stung by a fucking scorpion when I was in Texas. Right, like right there. Like the bitch stung me in the skin between
Yeah.
the middle finger and the ring finger. I was grabbing a piece of wood off the wood pile,
Uh-huh.
felt a sting, and I turned it around, and the scorpion was about that big, and he was
Yeah.
dangling from my hand. And so I did like that. Don't ever fucking do that because their barb goes like a hook,
Uh-huh.
and it just ripped out, and it just ripped right out of there when I did it. But that was a knee jerk, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
my hand, and yeah, there was
What
like
else you gonna do?
Quentin Tarantino
know?
blood spray coming out, when I did it. But
So basically, brown recluse are to be documented from southeastern Nebraska through Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and in some southern states like Texas to
Yeah,
western
they're
Georgia and
non-coastal.
North
Yeah.
Kentucky. Right. They don't really go on the coasts.
Yeah, not coastal states.
don't they have like a marking on their body that looks
they
like
do.
a violin or a fiddle or
I believe a fiddle.
yeah?
Let me see.
I mean, everybody knows the Black Widow's got the red dot,
Right.
Yeah,
Let
it
me
took me
see.
a long time to figure out the difference between a copperhead, because I grew up in the South, and a water snake. They almost look identical, but one of them's poisonous and one of them's harmless.
Right.
And the water snake has streaks, like on its snout, its mouth, when it comes out, it has lines running up and down on it. And the cottonmouth.
So that's what they look like.
Yeah,
They have like
that's
the
it.
fiddle
the
thing on the
violin.
back.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
from the head to the middle of the body.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks just like a violin too.
Yeah, that's a mean motherfucker right there.
And then there's this one that just has the violin on the head.
Yeah.
Not on the back.
Yep.
Gonna play no tunes for you, that's for damn sure.
No.
It'll play a tune on your skins.
Yeah.
If it has eight legs and crawl.
The one thing back home that used to freak me out, just the look of them.
What, the silverfish?
No. Well, that too, but that was creepy. This motherfucker right here, a wolf spider.
Oh yeah.
Those are what I used to call fucking tarantulas, man.
Oh, when they get
Jimmy would
big,
be like, it's no. Well, they do. But not big like a tarantula, but they do get good size.
Oh, they will get hair on them, like
Right. And they
hair
get, that's
over
why I
them.
call them tarantulas, because they
Yep.
get hairy and shit. And they
Yep.
will actually charge you.
Oh, they'll chase your ass
They
around.
will run at you. I used to freak. I don't know how many times I've came running out of my bathroom, because that's usually where you'll find them after rain, is in your
Yep,
bathroom
they're,
and like the tub and shit.
they're
And I
aggressive.
would come running out screaming at Jimmy, "There's a tarantula in the fucking bathroom! Don't kill it!" I fucking hated those things. And they were very common in New Hampshire.
Oh, look up zipper spider.
Oh, I think I've seen those before.
Yeah, they're harmless. I mean, they really are. They won't hurt you. They're very docile. They're not aggressive like a wolf spider. And I used to get them around my garden area when I was growing tomatoes and squash and stuff. And they would build their webs, and they're heavy, thick ass webs. But they would sit right in the middle of their web, and they're yellow and
They're
black.
kind of pretty though.
Oh yeah, but they're big. I mean, that doesn't
Yeah.
get the picture. And the reason they call them a zipper, you see below the spider, it looks like it's zigzagging back and
Yeah.
forth.
On the web, yep.
Yeah, and there's a long zipper line below that spider, and they would sit in the middle of that web. And when I would go out to pick my tomatoes or something, I would pluck the web and it would run over to the side, and I would reach in and pick my tomato, and a little bit later it would go back to the middle. I mean, they're very docile. They don't hurt people, but they can catch freaking grasshoppers like big, and it would keep them from eating my plants up.
This one shows a good picture of what you were talking about the zipper.
Yeah. Cause I saw those. They
See
were
how
all
it's
around my tomato plants and stuff. And I loved them. I loved them out there because they would catch grasshoppers. That was the only
right. They would
spider
catch the
big enough
bugs.
that could catch the big motherfuckers. Yeah. Oh yeah, jumping spiders are so. And Gavin says jumping spiders, not harmful. No, they're not harmful. They jump like crazy, but
Yeah.
the only way a jumping spider is going to hurt you is if you freak out and run through a plate glass window if it jumps at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky here in the Pacific. We don't have like a lot of big bugs, and our spiders are pretty, but it's a couple weeks ago, man, I saw this spider, and it biggest spider I ever seen. And when I went to squish it, it started like coming towards me, and luckily I popped it, and it was like an actual pop that you heard. But
Yeah. It was
I wish I
probably
would have
a
known what kind of
harmless spider.
spider. Well, we don't have big bugs here in the Pacific Northwest.
Hell, I heard they have so many fucking bugs that can kill you in Australia. They invite them to the bar and have drinks with them.
I've heard that's one of the most venomous countries with venomous
Well, yeah, they
insects and
got
animals.
scorpions, yeah, snakes,
Spiders, scorpions, snakes, fucking frogs. And then they got fucking kangaroo that will knock your ass out.
Boy, don't turn your back on a kangaroo. Unless you don't want to get gut punched, then turn your back on a kangaroo.
Kathy, did I tell you? So Chloe and Brody, I took them to the vet on Wednesday, or we took them to the vet on Wednesday.
Yeah.
The vet told me that Chloe's overweight.
Really?
Yeah, you needed the vet to tell you that.
So then I weighed them, and it proved just how overweight Chloe is. She only weighs 3 pounds less than Brody, and he's twice her size, as in height and length. He's 83 pounds. She's 80. The vet was like, yep. The vet was like, this one is a little chubby and can use to lose a few pounds. And then I took him to get pup cups. Mike was like, so let me get this straight. Your vet tells you your dog is fat and needs to lose weight. And as soon as you leave the vet, you go, who wants ice cream?
Well, you know
I
the
was like,
diaphragm
exactly.
that you can just, a helicopter view of your dog that has a diaphragm. If it's, straight, they're obese.
Oh
If it
no,
goes
she
outward,
has
they're
saddlebags. Yeah.
yeah. Or yeah, you want the
What
Curvy.
do you
She's
want?
shaped like a Tootsie Roll, dude.
yeah.
And the vet laughed when I was like, "Yep, Daddy calls her a fat chihuahua," and she just started laughing.
Well, how old is she?
She's 4,
Oh, yeah.
so
You
she's
don't,
not old.
yeah, you don't want that, bro.
And I admit it, she has put on weight since we've had her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but
I,
did you go? You should call and tell the place where you got her the problem that you're having. That she's overeating.
she,
How
yeah, she's
dare you give
overeating. I can't
how
afford to feed
how
her.
dare you give us an overeating dog?
Do you open bag feed them or
Yeah. So
Huh?
I do.
No, we don't open the bag and let him have at it. No.
Oh no,
well, that's open bag. Yeah, a lot of people will just fill up a big
no,
old bowl
no.
and let them free
I
range.
no. I feed them in the morning, and normally they'll get like a cup of dry food with some moist food mixed in, and then at night they'll get like a half a cup of dry food, and that's it. Other than the treats and shit. But
Oh, see, it's the treats and shit. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
they
treats will
they
be
get a
quick,
lot of
quick.
treats. They do get a lot of treats. I admit it. I admit it. And I even said that to the vet. I'm like, I have been accused of spoiling them with treats. I'm like, so
Mm,
Well, animals have different personalities. Some animals you can leave food out all the time and they
Yeah.
will
Uh-huh.
only eat when they're hungry.
that's how these
Yeah.
two are.
And some
Like,
will
yep,
just fucking eat till they pass out and then wake
yep.
up and eat more. I mean, so
These two
Yeah,
will only
that's
eat till
usually a
they're
breed
full.
thing.
And like they'll be like right now, one of their bowls still has food in it. Because a lot of times what they'll do is they'll share a bowl of food at night
Mhm.
and
Well,
then
I've
they'll leave
learned,
the other
and
bowl.
the thing with it is that I've learned years ago when I had my my dog. Uh, Somebody told me feed them in the morning, let them eat, give them so much time. If they don't eat, pick the bowl up, and then in
That's
the
what I do at
evening,
night.
and then in the evening you put the bowl back down, and then they'll eat, and
Yep.
then you can leave the water up all day,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
but make sure the bowl, and then eventually they'll start eating when you feed them, and then they
Right.
won't overeat that
Well, they
way.
don't have a problem eating, right?
no.
Right.
But
Yeah.
No,
some
no,
of them,
not like in the morning.
but some of them,
Go ahead, Kathy.
it's like my little pup right now, my little dog. He don't eat a lot, but then through the day, I'm hearing him crunching. Then I get little nuggets all over the floor.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the
Mhm.
butler won't pick the bowl up like I
Yep.
told him. But you know what? I just let him do what he wants anymore. I don't give a fuck. But
Right.
The
Like
biggest
what
but with the big dog, at least they would eat it, and then you don't have to worry about them going back and forth and picking
right.
up and num num num. Then you could give them a little num num if you want through the day,
Right.
and then in the
Like
evening.
in the morning, they both usually clean their bowls.
Mhm,
I let them out. I'll fill their bowls. They'll come in. They'll both clear their bowls. And then at night, usually around the time that we eat,
mhm,
I'll put like a half a cup of food in each bowl, but they'll usually both just eat out of one bowl.
mhm,
And then I'll give them time with that other bowl of food in it. Like I'll probably be picking it up here soon. Before I go, like probably like an hour before I go to bed, I'll pick it up and take it off the floor. So
mhm.
they're not eating all night long.
See, and I
Right,
was always in one thing, consistency is a huge thing, whatever you're
right,
giving them. And I was always, if you put a bowl down and they don't eat it, pick it up. And I give my dog a half a cup of
right.
food in the morning and then 2 cups in the evening. And as soon as I put that bowl down, it's fucking gone. And then if
Yeah.
she's being good, I'll give her a biscuit. But
Mhm.
yeah, every day, half a cup, 2 cups, and then a
Yeah.
biscuit.
See, and I do it the other way. In the morning is where I give them the more food because I mix it with the wet. And then at night they get the half a cup.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
and
wet food's
they're more active during the day too.
Right.
So.
And that's why I feed them more in the morning than I do at night because they're more active during the day, like going out and roaming around the house, chasing animals. And then at night, they both sleep as long as I do. So,
Mhm.
Well, that's what
and
I
they,
do. Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, and they probably wouldn't eat because I used to give them a full cup each at night and they would never finish it. So I would end up picking it up. And that's when I started downsizing how much I gave them.
Yeah, they get their caloric intake early, and then they burn through whatever they're going
Right.
to burn through, and then they just need something to tide them over till the next morning.
Right. Like I think her biggest problem is she needs more exercise because she doesn't get a whole lot of exercise.
Yeah.
She's
We
like a
have
lump on a log.
we
Yeah,
have
wet
3
food
dogs,
is
and we have a racehorse or a greyhound looking motherfucker that is young. And then I've got Chadwick. Chadwick's a big old black lab looking dog, and Chadwick he'll eat like a little bit. Like you can put a whole bowl down. Yeah, you can put whatever down in the morning. He'll just eat what he wants, and that's it.
Yeah.
And we set the bowl up. And if he drops crumbs, we have this little muffin. That's Muffin is that dog name. It's like
Mhm.
a mini pit bull looking little motherfucker, but he's only about that big. And he comes in like a Roomba and cleans everything.
That's what Brody does. Because Chloe will take a mouthful and she'll walk away from the bowl chewing and she drops pieces. Brody will go behind her and pick up all of her mess.
All of her mess. Yep.
that's how my dog is. She's a little vacuum. She will eat until she throws up. Like she literally will eat until she's throwing up. She had an
Yep.
open buffet.
Yep. Like when I had Moose and Tilly,
Oh,
I would
Lord.
usually sorry, Kathy. I would usually fill their bowl. They would both eat out of the same bowl, but I would leave it down all day long. And that
Yeah.
was what like I wouldn't refill it or whatever,
Yeah,
but they would both
neither of those two ate much though.
right. They would both just kind of munch because I used to say that dog food was like a supplement to their diet because they ate more human food than they did dog food.
Mhm.
Yep, those two would wait for us to have dinner before they would freaking touch that bowl.
Yeah. When they realized they weren't getting any more human food, that's when they would go pick at the dog food.
Yep. I'm gonna go.
Gotta love them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the fucking rain dripping. I'm like, what the fuck is that noise?
Mhm.
So it must be the rain dripping on the fucking grill
Yeah.
because it's like tit, 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 tit.
Mhm.
I'm like, what the fuck is that? It sounds like a clock almost. Jimmy, do you like margaritas? Zach
Yeah,
asked me
they're,
this earlier.
oh, they're all right. You know, not a real big fan of them, but you know.
He'll usually only get them, Seth, like once in a while if we go to a Mexican place, sometimes he'll get them, but for the most part, he's a beer drinker
Yeah, or bourbon,
or bourbon.
you know.
He
But
doesn't
yeah.
really do the mixed drinks once in a great while if there's like a special.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody would drink bourbon.
Me neither.
Mhm.
Me neither.
You know, you go
Good
to these bourbon channels and
good for the it's good for the soul.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Drinking on some tonight, Jimmy?
What's that?
You drinking on some bourbon tonight?
Nah, Pepsi.
Absolutely.
No. I had enough last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Last night was Thursday, huh?
yeah.
So on my trial, the defense started today.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it for.
The state rested. The defense has started.
Oh.
And they called the crazy lady that I was hoping they wouldn't call, but she's the only one that says his arm looks like dog bites. Smitty, what's up? How
Oh, I
are
thought you were
you?
talking about the Moose trial. This is a real.
No, this is something different. This is an actual trial. It's from back home in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And that's
Smitty.
what interested me. Very controversial, but I can see it.
Mm.
I can see it happening.
Yeah, you can see that it really looks like a freaking frame up job.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The more I
The
watch
worst,
it, the
the
more I'm
worst
like,
part is like
mm,
I always watch the court TV people that are talking about it. They like
mhm,
my favorite is Vinnie Politan. He's my fucking favorite. I absolutely love that guy.
mhm.
Love him. And so I watch all of his shows. Apparently, somebody went to her attorney's office before this even started, the trial even started, and said he was told, and he did say who told him, wouldn't give a name, but it had to have been somebody that was in the house that night, that the fight started as soon as he walked in the house. He got attacked.
Are you talking about the
And
chick that was married to the sheriff's?
No.
no. And he ended up falling down the basement stairs, hit his head, got knocked out, woke back up 20 minutes later and started puking all over himself, which they did say there was puke on his clothes.
Uh-huh.
They haven't mentioned it except for the background story. Like it hasn't been mentioned in court
Yeah.
that he had puke on his clothes. They just said there was a lot of bodily fluids,
Yeah. Mm.
is what they said. And they said that that's when they dragged him outside when he started puking all over
Mhm.
himself and the floor, and he was bleeding, and
Was he supposed to have been drunk or something?
he was drunk and then got his ass kicked.
Okay,
I
good.
think
Well,
it's
yeah.
it's the Karen Reed trial.
Yeah,
I
the
don't know.
police
It's
police is-
Massachusetts versus.
the police are saying that freaking
He wasn't married.
yeah.
No,
The police never mind.
ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Freaking
Well, no, I thought that's the Karen Reed that she was married to a sheriff that was
She
found
wasn't
dead.
married. No, he was
Oh.
a Boston cop. They were boyfriend girlfriend.
Oh,
Yeah.
They were not married.
Okay.
That's why I said no, because
yeah.
they weren't married. I thought you were talking about, because there is another one somewhere else that's being charged for killing her husband, who was a cop.
So wait, this guy goes to her house?
No, he went to a party,
A
An
party.
after party.
Oh,
an after
with,
party. So
with more cops.
right, there
okay.
were a few. It's all one family.
You know,
that
I've
were
heard
in the
something
house.
about this is starting to ring a bell. This is
yeah,
starting
it's all over the place.
And
Yeah.
right, he was a
don't watch
Boston
this.
cop, and the owner of the house was a Boston cop.
Okay.
They all happened to meet up at a bar. There was like 6 different couples, and when the bar closed, the Boston cop that owned the house said, "Hey, today's my son's birthday. He's still up. Why don't you all come and we'll have a nightcap and everybody can wish him a happy birthday?"
Okay.
And
Right.
so everybody went to his house and they were all family except for this one guy that got killed.
Okay.
They're all family or close friends.
Yeah, the freaking the what's his name? The freaking
ATF
ATF
agent.
guy. He wasn't family, was he?
No, he was just
Yeah.
friends with the owner
Yeah.
of the house,
Yeah.
and they had worked together.
Yeah.
And the guy that owns the house was a famous cop because he was on a lot of the Boston police shows. He was part of their fugitive unit. So he was shown a lot on TV. And
Okay.
apparently he was like, among the Boston police, he was really famous and respected and this and that. And they're saying this is why it's all being covered up, is because he was the dude was found on his lawn.
Yeah.
Dead.
And the guy that they were partying at's lawn, right?
Right. Yeah. And the
And they're saying
cops
that
never
she-
wouldn't. They're saying that she backed up into him and hit him
Yeah.
and left him there.
Yeah, I remember that now.
But all of his injuries are to his head and his right arm. That's it. He
Okay.
has no fractures. He has no bruising, nothing.
Yeah, that was sketchy from the get-go when they were talking about tail lights when she
Right.
backed out of her driveway and there's a video that she hit the car and then
He backed up into his car.
there's no tail lights been found, and then once the snow, they're finding like all these big chunks and
Yep.
yeah, that
Up
Yeah.
until 3 weeks later, they never secured the scene.
yeah.
The cops
Yeah,
went there that morning, took his body, found his phone underneath his body, left, never put crime scene tape up, never secured the scene, never moved any of the snow to see if there was anything else there. Up until the next day, then they started looking, and up to 3 weeks later, they were going back and supposedly finding evidence.
So what
So
what
it's-
do we as the court of public opinion? What is your opinion?
She's
on-
innocent.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but was
My
there a
opinion-
fight that
My
broke out?
opinion
Yeah.
is, well, she was flirting. She was flirting
The
with
ATF
the
guy.
freaking ATF guy. And I believe that those two got in a fight at the house, and fucking he fell down or whatever, smashed his head. So they dragged him outside because he was gonna die, freaking, or you
Right.
got to call an ambulance,
And
freaking.
one of the people said that lives in Boston said he had heard from the grapevine of the Boston police that the dude that died
Mhm.
was had just assined a case where he was investigating someone in the family for a sexual assault.
That's more believable because if the ATF guy and his girlfriend were texting, why would he kill him and then expect the girl that he's texting to cover up? She's gonna blow his
Well,
discovery.
like basically the ATF agent went to his house one night, the dead guys, to watch a Patriots game. His girlfriend walked him out and kissed him.
Oh,
The cop didn't see her kiss him, but did see her walk him outside.
okay.
And apparently said to her, "What are you two hooking up now?" And she told the ATF agent that.
Boy, you want
that
to talk
he-
about some drama? That's
Right.
Yeah, that's some good.
That's
That's
way
some good
too
shit
much
right
drama.
there.
So yeah, I think because they were saying that the cop who he was found at his house was one of those cops, and this was actually a cop on Vinnie Politan's show that said this. Every cop that's been on a police force for as long as he has a black book where they have names of people in the upper command that they've done favors for.
Mhm.
And he has something on somebody. And the cop that owns the house and the ATF agent, after being told there was a judge's order to hold their phones and they were going to be collected for evidence, destroyed their phones, both of them.
And they'll probably
And now this whole investigation is being investigated by the FBI
Mhm.
because it was so handled so badly. The ATF agent, we haven't heard anything about the federal case, but they've called in everybody involved, all the witnesses, all the cops and everything. Supposedly the ATF agent on the stand in the federal case said he was directly told by the DA to destroy his phone.
Is that what happened today? Because I saw something today that happened that someone on the stand like broke down and something happened in her
He's
favor.
the only one that says, and this was in the federal case, this wasn't in the state case. In the federal case, he said there was a tall man with dark hair that was well built that came into the house that was not part of the family. But on the stand for the state, he said that no one other than the family came in the house.
I'm going to start following this one. Yeah, that's.
Oh my God, it's fucking, and it's to the point where now this ATF agent could face federal charges because he admitted on the stand that he used federal equipment to pull text messages with this chick off his phone and give it to the cops. He wouldn't give him his phone, but he used federal equipment in a federal office to take stuff off do an extraction on his phone. And admitted that on the stand.
This is all a family. They're all involved in law enforcement.
And there's three of the brothers are involved in law enforcement. You have the Boston cop that owns the house. You have a brother that works for the town cops that they live. And then you have another one that's, I think, a DA or something. It's something like that. So there's like three of them that are involved in law enforcement in some way or another. And then the ATF, that's a friend.
Alcohol did
Yep.
it.
This story beats out the murder shit show that happened down here, right, Ron?
This is why when
it
I
is
start
such
drinking,
a shit show.
I go
And
online.
the worst thing is the ME refused to put murder on his death certificate. She put undetermined because she said by the evidence she had, she could not tell what caused his injuries and whether it was purposely or an accident.
So he wasn't all black and blue and
no, literally he had two black eyes, a laceration on his back, on the back of his head. He had a cut right above his eye, a little cut. He had cuts on his nose. He had a tongue laceration, and he had a bunch of scratches on his arm that they think are right. They think the scratches on his arm were from the Boston cops, German Shepherd, that they happened to rehome a month after the murder.
I would not be surprised if these people walk off scot-free, but I hope to goodness.
Well, like I said, they're being investigated.
They didn't check anyone's DNA except for the dead guys. And what did they pull off his body? Freaking
on his clothes. So they tested his DNA. So when he was found, there were 6 drops of blood on the snow in the yard. If this man had a huge laceration on his head, there would be a lot more blood.
Yeah, if that family walks scot-free, that's one reason not to live in Massachusetts. There's
they got solo cups. This is the cops. They got solo cups from the homeowner to collect the blood and the snow. And put the solo cups in a shop and save bag. That was their evidence collection. And the lab lady only tested the blood from one cup because she said she was told they all came from the same patch of blood. She never tested any of the other blood. His DNA was the only one that came up. They never got DNA from any
that's the thing
of the witnesses.
Doris, the medical examiner, she didn't put down what the cause of death was, probably because she was sucking somebody's dick. So the
No,
thing is,
Kathy, because if she was, she would have put homicide.
no.
She
Well,
refused to put homicide.
right. But the cause of death, cleared her as it was undetermined. So
Right.
she could suck somebody's dick to put that way. If she gets caught by lying, then she would lose her job. So she
Right.
could put undetermined. So if somebody else comes back and says, okay, we're going to hire somebody else to check it, then if they said, well, okay, this is what happened, they're not going to hold it against her.
And she said that today because the defense asked her, did they try to get you to put a manner of death? And she said, they asked me if I would check homicide, and I refused because I told them that was my responsibility and I did not have enough evidence to determine it was a homicide.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I have no idea how he got those injuries other than saying the back of the head was a blunt impact. She said, that's all I know.
But aren't like Boston police known for having like a mob mentality and being like a mob within themselves?
Yeah,
There's a
they're right.
lot of speculation that they still, a lot of them are owned by the mob.
Yeah.
Leave us alone.
Well, that's not actually Boston, though. They're not.
But the state police are the ones that investigated, and he was a Boston cop. They both were.
Yeah.
So the guy that owns the house is a well-known, high-ranking Boston cop.
Yeah, I don't know. Casey Anthony. It's about the last time I heard something this interesting.
Oh my God, it's been even Jimmy. Like Jimmy doesn't get into that shit, and every time I have it on, he'll stop and be like, "What's going on now?" And sometimes he'll even sit.
It's not every time you have it on.
Sometimes he'll even
It's
sit
all right if it is.
and listen to it, and he'll go, "Really, really?" And like the pictures of this guy, I'm not gonna share the pictures because it's disrespectful. I feel like the family asked his pictures not to be shown on the internet, even though they're up. But
yeah,
like his pictures, even the defense was like, he looks like he went 5 rounds with Mike Tyson. And the Boston cop that owns the house was MMA trained. In the service, he was a boxer. And he spent time in college boxing.
Well, no one probably took pictures of their hands that
No,
night either.
they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't even. They literally went in and talked to the whole family at once.
Yeah, and we all know that's not how cops investigate.
No.
Right. And that was the only thing they did. They never questioned any of them. They left them all in the house by themselves with no cops. They left them all in the house together, knowing the cops were going to come in and talk to them. Nothing like, hey, get your story straight and then we'll come back.
Right. I like what, now Smitty, I get what you're talking about, man. But one thing though, good cops. I'm not talking about crooked cops. I'm talking about good cops. They're gonna investigate every angle because they don't know at that moment. I know it traumatized you at the time, but trust the process if they get it right. Hopefully they do. But Ron Plunkett, I remember something about that dude shot 5 times with a bolt action rifle, and they called it suicide and murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, how in the fuck you? What did I shoot? My left foot, right foot?
Yeah.
Right.
What did I shoot after that?
22 bullet to the back of the head. Yeah, must be suicide.
Must be suicide.
Yeah. But yeah, and like the worst part is, so when they confiscated this lady's car, they park it in the town police garage. The town that was told to step back because the state police were investigating because one of the family members was a town cop. They were supposed to have nothing to do with it.
Well, if anybody
The
knows how to fucking cover shit up, it's cops.
right? Um that's all right, Smitty. That's basically going right along with what we're talking about, buddy.
Yep, it is.
So one of the videos that's like 45 minutes of video, they talk about it. They have the supervisor on talking about how neither him or the lead detective, the lead trooper, ever touched the passenger side rear of the car, because that's what the defense is saying.
Right.
That they broke apart her backlight, and that's where that's what they found in his yard days later.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't touch it. My
Right.
hammer did, but
And right. And he's going, see, nobody's going from that side. Prosecutor's like, oh, we can see that. The defense gets up and says to the dude, do you see something wrong with this video? And the supervisor was like, what are you talking about? And the defense was like, look at this video. Is there something wrong with this video? And the supervisor goes, are you talking about the fact that it's mirrored? They mirrored the video. So we were looking at the driver's side of the car instead of the passenger side of the car.
yeah.
And the lead trooper was really what we thought he was at the driver's side rear. He was at the passenger side rear. And we couldn't see it. When if the video was shown the way it should have been shown, we would have seen that side of the car.
So that happened today. That must have been what I heard that people were talking about, to where someone fucked up instead of.
Right. So there was that video that was mirrored. And then the defense has been saying that there was a video that was missing that showed the rear of the car from where the camera was. They put that on earlier this week. There's 45 minutes missing of footage. And it just so happens to be the whole entire time that these two guys are in that garage.
So what
Pretty evident.
after, and I haven't been keeping up with this. So let me get this straight, Doris. From everything you've watched, you believe he walked in the house, there was a big melee fight, and
He got invited there to party.
Right, he got invited to
his
party.
ass kicked downstairs to the basement where he got the head injury
On
all
the
that.
cement floor.
Right. And then they drug him to the front yard and made up this story about the car backing into him and busted her back light and everything to try to make it look. So, okay.
Well, they didn't have to bust out her back light because
she already she broke the
She
light
cracked it.
yeah.
backing into her own driveway.
Yeah,
Right.
so they might have saw a cracked light.
Right. When she came pulled out of her garage, and it's on camera because he had a camera focused on his driveway. The dead guy did. His car is parked on the far side of the garage of the driveway. She backs out, and when she comes to try to turn to pull out, she backs into his car.
Okay.
And the defense is saying that's how she cracked. It didn't break. You can see the little crack when she pulls forward. It's a crack.
What was the reason she got called over there to pick him up? Did someone
No,
call
she
him
dropped him off. She was out with them.
So she dropped him off
and brought him to the house party. Didn't feel well. So said, I'm not going to go in. I'm going to go home.
But they're saying she ran him over.
They're saying they got into an argument in the car, which defense is saying they could have. And that when he got out of the car, she backed up and hit him.
Oh, okay. So, okay. All right.
And left him to die.
Yeah.
But he's 6'2". They said.
What was he on his hands and knees?
Well, and that's what everybody's saying. How the fuck did all of his injuries get on his head? There's absolutely nothing on his legs, nothing on his torso, no bruises at all, other than on the back of his hands and his face.
To me, it's pretty obvious what happened. I'm just curious to see if
Right.
these fucking guys get away with it or not.
Because,
Well,
if
and
I
they're
punch Jimmy C in the face, I'm gonna get,
Mhm.
I have to reach a little higher.
right. And the prosecution saying that because he doesn't have scrapes on his knuckles, that says it wasn't a fight. And the dude,
Wasn't a fight.
one of the nephews of the Boston cop, who some people are saying is the one that was being investigated for sexual assault, had a bunch of scraped up knuckles that the defense are the ones that took pictures of. The cops didn't even take pictures of it. The defense took pictures.
Mhm.
Yeah, worst case scenario is these people walk away. Not only do you have mob-like mentality that gets off scot-free, but then you also have a sexual predator that's just, yeah, that'll be
He
interesting.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Kathy.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I've just been entrailed with
It's
this
fucked up.
trial.
Yeah, it is. All fucked up.
It's
Yeah,
all-
Smitty, that's going to be hard, buddy. It's not easy, but in reality, Smitty, it probably didn't matter what you said to him.
Yeah.
If he was serious about killing himself, nothing you said would have changed his mind. So you didn't cause him to do it, Smitty, by saying that.
Yeah, right. You.
What's going on with Smitty?
So Smitty,
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
a good friend of his years ago committed suicide. He called Smitty beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So Smitty went to his house, found him dead, called the cops.
Mhm.
Smitty said, he called me 3 hours before he killed himself. I told him, don't be stupid. You know you won't do it. I should have never said that. I feel guilty.
Oh,
But Smitty was saying that the cops pulled him in and questioned him because he was the one that found the body.
And
Right.
Yeah, they always.
but that is something they always
Right.
do.
They always
That-
do that. Yeah.
Right.
They're
That
going
is
to cover all their bases.
right.
That's why I said a good cop. A good cop.
Right.
They're gonna follow every lead, and they're gonna, but
There are so bad cops that want to just get people
Right.
to say
get
shit
it over
to
with,
try
and
and
get the paperwork done and
Okay.
go home.
This is something that I don't, because it has happened recently, and I usually don't put my very personal life, but a friend of ours, not, maybe going on 2 months ago, if that, his wife had found him hung in his garage.
Yeah.
That was one of my son's best friends.
That's rough.
And he had prior to finding him, my son had talked to him for a few hours on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ended up he looked at his wife and turned around, and he said he was going out to the garage. A couple hours later, she's like, he hasn't come back. And when she went out there, she found him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, this family has taken it very hard. Us as family, as friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, this has been going on with us in the background. And plus handling his wife as well, and my son is like, why did he do it, Ma? Why did he do it? I just talked to him for a couple hours on the phone, and of course the police, and then my son's here, and so the wife had called the police, they're questioning her because, she was there. She found him.
Right.
They have to question.
Yep.
That is part of what they have to do. So the wife was not, consolable. So they got on the phone and they talked to my son. Could you please come over? So my son did go over there, to talk to them as well. And they even talked to Billy. And Billy says, you know what? I just talked to him a couple hours on the phone. Not, it was like an hour or a couple hours earlier. He had uh, talked to him on the phone. And why he did it, we will never know.
Yep.
Because what goes on that, and I was dealing with my son because my son was actually his boss.
Mhm.
And let me, and the company that my son works for, which is worldwide, the owner of the company got a hold of my son and said, take some time off. And because they knew that he was friends with him.
Yeah.
My son, wants to know why did and his name was Bill. And why did Bill do this, Mom? What could you know, and I said, honey, we all look for that one word that we can say that maybe change your mind. He was depressed, but what is actually can you say to somebody?
Well,
Either really, you know, if his mind was made up to begin with,
yep.
you know, and this was something, and when you think about it, it's like I told my son, he didn't take a gun and shoot himself, which is quick. This is well thought out. He
Yep.
had to get the rope tied.
Yep.
He had to get that bucket underneath him. He had to go through those whole things. He knew what he was doing. It was
Yep.
not
Mhm.
just a quick thing.
Yep. I
Yes,
know how you feel though, Smitty. I
right.
remember at one of the jobs I had when I was young, I was like probably 20. I worked in security at a mill that made fabric in Lowell. And we had a new guy, and he used to creep me out just by the way he would talk to me or look at me. And I was like the only female that worked there. And one of my partners had brought it to my boss because I'd said to him, he kind of creeps me out. He like stares at me. And when he's talking to me, he's not looking at my face. I'll tell you that. So one day my boss came to me and said, is this true? And I said, yeah. I said, nothing against the guy, but he creeps me out. And I thought my boss just wouldn't put us on together again. Well, what my boss did was send him to the other facility in town. He killed himself a week later at the facility.
Mm.
Oh, no shit.
And I felt when my boss told me, he said to me, don't even try to blame yourself. This is not your fault that he got sent there. He did this on his own. And my boss was like, it turns out, he's like, I spoke to his wife. They've been having a lot of problems. He's been depressed for months. But I was just like, I felt so guilty because I thought I'm the reason he was there.
That was the point.
He was the only security in that building. He was on by himself.
Yep.
And he killed himself. And for a while, I blamed myself, even though my boss like
That's what
explained to
happens.
me.
That's what happens with suicide, though. Freaking
Right.
everybody ends up blaming themselves and freaking wanting
Right.
to fix this or fix that. Freaking.
Well, there was a
like-
psychologist one time that came on and said, look, suicide is not a quick thing.
No.
You know, we look at it
They're
through the
usually
lens.
planning it for months.
Right. We look at it through the lens that we recognize, but they've been living in this turmoil for
Right.
months and months and months and months and
Yeah.
months.
Mhm.
And we think after all of these months of them living in turmoil, there's something different we could have said in the last minutes. It's just
Mhm.
not true.
Right.
That
Yeah.
they've already made up their mind. They've
Right.
you know, and depending on the person, they could be quiet. Maybe they don't share.
Mhm.
And then when they do share, sometimes people are reaching they're sometimes they're crying out for help, and sometimes they're just making a statement.
Mhm.
Yep.
But you
And
don't know.
right. And in the prison and where I work at the
Oh.
hospital now, part of our training is to spot signs
Right.
of someone who is suicidal,
Yeah.
and whether it's a serious intention or if because sometimes they do just do it for attention, but sometimes sometimes they don't mean to kill themselves, but because they're not found in time,
Mhm.
they end up dying.
Yeah, you look at Anthony
Sometimes they
Bourdain.
right.
Well, it's
A
kind of
lot-
like saying, I'm going to hurry up. I'm going to take these pills because here in a half an hour, my husband's going to be home and
Exactly.
he'll be able to get me, and then he'll take me and get me help, and I'll survive. But then that'll show him,
Right.
So
Right.
it can be something like that.
Right.
And then what
Like,
happens? The husband gets a flat tire and don't get home in time.
exactly, Kathy. Like I had a brother-in-law who attempted suicide quite a lot, but he would do it to, like you said, where he would be found. My brother found him, his daughter found him. Well, the one day that he actually committed suicide, his girlfriend, who was due home, got stuck at work late. And so she wasn't home when he expected her to come home.
Right. But it still is. And we also have to remember it still is an illness to be able to think about doing that for attention. It's still a sickness.
Right.
And
it's a cry for help a lot of times.
Right. And sometimes they have a section them, and put them in a padded room sometimes because of that. But think about how many times have they done this, and then you're thinking, oh, some people are like, oh, that's what they do. Well, no, that is actually a cry for help. I've got a problem. Now, me myself, unfortunately, in some ways, it's maybe the wrong way. We have a right. If we want, we have a right to choose how we want to die.
I believe the same thing, Kathy. And I think a lot of it has to do with watching a lot of people that are terminally ill.
Right.
Live in pain or misery, being forced to live like that.
Right.
Where like they'll ask to get help committing suicide and
and and that's when everyone was the Dr. Death Kevorkian. But the thing that is, if we think about it too, he never killed anybody.
Right. Not only that, Kathy, but I actually used him in a project I did in nursing school.
Right.
He put those patients through therapy.
Yes, he did
for months before to make sure this is really what they wanted.
Right.
And that it wasn't because they were just in pain that day.
Right. It's not like I could call him and then what's going to happen is he's going to get in there into my medical records and he's going to see it. He did extensive research.
He did.
And the thing is, if you are terminal and you are in pain, I tell you is if if it was any one of my family members, I would not want to see their last days
No.
in so much pain that medication can't help.
Yep.
You know what? That's why husband, wives, family members will put a pillow over their loved one's face and smother them, and then they end up getting it. Put me in jail.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I don't care. I'm good.
Right. Because I did not want to see them suffer to their last breath.
Right.
Who the fuck wants to do that?
Right. And
Now,
I remember
Smitty's friend, our friend, he suffered in quietly, although there were things that, like, him talking to Billy and stuff and some of the things, and he knew that there was a change in him.
Yep.
So they were talking. So, but to think that he was suicidal, nobody knew that. Nobody knew that
right.
there was something that he was going to, but also he was in therapy. He had and taken medications, for things and stuff. He just could not do it no more.
Right.
So he was actually suffering in pain in silence.
Uh-huh.
Well,
So
Smitty said, I feel like I'm a big downer for mentioning it. Paul,
no,
No,
this
Smitty,
is why we're
no.
here. We talk about whatever, man. And this is
Yep.
a good conversation to have. It's a
Right.
really good conversation to have because people may be more mindful. Now,
Right.
like me and my boys from the military, the first thing we say when they call me up, I'm like, "What's up, motherfucker?" I mean, that's the way we answer the
Yeah.
phone.
And
Yeah.
Smitty, that's why most of the time, like, that's why we're always here for each other, even on
Right.
YouTube. Like,
Right.
if Kathy needs to talk, she knows she can call me. I know I can call her.
Right.
Like, there's so many times that a lot of us talk in the background,
Right.
aside from YouTube, because we have
Right.
problems that we're upset with or having a hard time, or that's what makes us the family we are,
Right.
Smitty.
And not because I'm older, and it's not because I'm older. I may sound like I have answers to a lot of things, but there are some
And
times,
that's usually what goes through my head. I go, Kathy's probably been through this. Let me call
Yeah,
Kathy.
right. But then there are times that, that I know, oh my God, I know I'm not thinking right. Let me get a hold of Doris, and I'm going to talk to Doris. She can slap me.
Yep.
Sometimes I need a good slap, and to wake up.
And it's the same thing with Lisa. There's been a lot of times that Kathy, Lisa, and I have done privates. We used to call them our bitch sessions.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because we would spend hours.
Yeah.
It was to the point where sometimes Jimmy walked by and go, "Are you still talking to them?" And I'll go, "Yep, I am."
Oh, Kathy, how many times? I think it's been 2 or 3, maybe 4 times. The reason I call Kathy when I'm going through something, and normally I get Kathy on a private, and I do 90% of the talking because I'm just dumping on her. But I know she will call bullshit if I'm bullshitting myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's
why I love talking to Kathy too, because I know she's going to be honest with me whether I like the answer or not.
That's friendship.
And I'm the same way with her.
Right.
I'm going to be honest with her. Even if she gets mad at me for what I say, I know after thinking about it, she's going to be like, you were right. I took it wrong, but you were absolutely. And same thing with Lisa. Lisa will call me a lot of times. And like, there's been times where Lisa has had to speak to someone and been like, I need you to be on a 3-way with me because I need you to calm me down if I need it. And I'll sit there on the call with Lisa and interrupt her and take over speaking for her because I know she's about to lose it.
Right.
But that's what friends are for.
But I also, and also, there's somebody that, who I'm close to, but also, me talking and saying some things to him, and he'll say, it ain't all a fuck about you. And I'm like, what the fuck? He goes, and he says, it ain't all about you. You know,
Right. Like, what
And-
about the clam? Think about it, Kathy.
I
He
don't.
may be upset, but he lost his clam.
I don't give a fuck.
Damn clam. Fuck the clam.
And- but but the thing of it is, no matter what, you know, he knew it. He knew exactly what to say. It's like, you guys, you're gonna sit there and and you may say something, but I don't take it as a hateful thing either.
Yep.
No.
I take it as, you know, that, and very seldom do I need anybody, usually. But sometimes I do.
Yep.
But
I just drown my sorrows. It's
well,
easier.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
but that doesn't make it help. That doesn't help it.
And Smitty
It's
also
easier though.
Smitty
Body
also,
care.
that's why we call this therapy, buddy.
Mm.
So, because there are times
What?
and thank you for sharing your story.
When did
Right.
your channel become therapy?
My channel's always therapy when I do the hangouts.
Oh, okay.
It's when
Yeah.
I do the
Are you
wrestling,
getting fucking jealous?
right?
Call Kathy.
No.
She'll tell you exactly where to get off.
It is, Gavin. Laughter is the best medicine.
And
Even
that's
like,
what
yeah,
that's what we all do. We try to, even in the hardest fucking conversations, we try to have a laugh.
yeah, try to make a joke out of it, and
I mean, but don't make a joke out of the problem, but
Right.
we still
Mhm.
try to
be uplifting. Like
yeah.
that's why, like when I was going through chemo, I always stayed with YouTube because I knew that being around the people that I was around on YouTube would be uplifting to me.
Mhm.
And it was. Like, you were you drive us all to therapy, for fuck's sakes, Jimmy.
Mhm.
But yeah, so like, but if I wasn't on, they would go through Jimmy because they would know if she's not here, she must not feel good.
Mhm.
But they would check on me through Jimmy.
Yep.
But when I was on, they helped me to make like light of my situation, and I would make jokes and
Mhm.
to try and make it not so blah.
Well, but you know, like with me and the experiences that I've had happen to myself, and how I've had to accept that I cannot change yesterday. I can only take and make sure that the future is better for me. I can't change what was in the past.
Mhm.
But also, um, being in our job where you have seen, held hands, talked to people that have died, and how when you see somebody accepting death and you're holding their hand when their last breath is taken, and you see a lot of that
Yep.
in different ways, people, you know, and then how they accept, and they said, oh, I just wish the Lord would take me right now. I just want it right now. And I would pretty much tell them, maybe if you sleep, maybe you won't wake up. You know, I'm
Yeah.
not saying I'm going to give you the pill to kill yourself or anything. Hell no. But you know, if they believed in the Lord's going to
Yep.
take care of you. And maybe what you're telling me, I'll be able to use in my future.
Right?
You know,
Like,
so,
yeah, Kathy, because I know the guy I took care of privately, Chuck.
mhm,
There were quite a few times where he would say to me, I'm ready. I have all of my affairs set. I've spoken to everyone that I want to speak to. I've made amends where I want to make amends. Whenever it's going to happen, I'm ready.
mhm,
And like that, as much as that upset me because we got along great,
mhm.
I accepted it because it was his destiny. It was his
It was his journey. Yeah.
Right. It was his journey.
I'm gonna have to try this technique in the strip club. Maybe
Well,
I'll
here's the
Fucking
deal,
hell.
though.
just be
And
open and
I don't want to bring
it's my
everything
time.
down. I don't want to bring everything down, but in 100 years from now, nobody on this stream or the chat
Nope.
is going to be here.
No.
Unless
nor your
Kathy will
possessions.
still be
All
here.
right. Well, okay. Kathy's going to be.
Yeah, Kathy will
uh,
still be here.
Kathy's going to be married to what's his name from the Rolling Stones?
Keith
Mick
Richards?
Jagger.
Keith
No,
Richards.
Keith
Richards.
Richards.
Yeah, Kathy
Keith
and
Richards.
Keith Richards will rule the
Mhm.
world for
Mhm.
5,000 more years. Yeah, that's it.
No one lives forever. That's true, Seth, on Earth. Yep.
Yeah, all your
Well,
possessions will be fucking
right,
at a
but
thrift
look at,
store. Or,
you know, I've seen my father die at a young age. I've seen my sister die at a young age.
Yeah.
My brother, you know, he just died at a young age. And, you know, so me, I'm not afraid of death whatsoever.
Mhm.
I don't want to die right now. But if
No.
it happens, you know, it's kind of like, and it's like I've said, my granddaughter said, there's not going to be a dry eye in the house when the queen dies because everybody will have tears of joy. Talking about the crap that she has pulled
Yep.
is what,
And that's
it's,
like part
you
of
know,
an Irish thing is
right.
like when people die,
Yeah,
they have a get together afterwards.
right. Yeah,
And
we do.
that's the celebration of life part.
Right.
Where that's what you do. You
Right.
eat, you drink, you tell stories,
Hmm.
and have a grand old time remembering that person.
Right.
Oh, I already told Kathy I'm gonna throw a wake for her on YouTube, and it's gonna be like oomps, 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 oomps. Everybody gonna be like, you know, what?
Regular rave.
Yeah.
Rave, that's it.
Well,
Like when
I
we
have,
go,
yeah, that Mike and Jimmy's going to my funeral. You know, not really a funeral, but whatever you want to call it, fucking shit. But
open bar. That's
well,
what.
it's going. No, they're going to the island, putting
and
back.
Kathy, if I cannot talk Billy into putting you in the little game piece, Kathy, can I put some of your ashes in the little game piece?
Yeah, if he's going to throw it overboard anyway, you might as well just get some of them. Take a bag.
And because I want to be able to come to my streams and go, hold please, and put it on a little shelf and say, I'll be back when Kathy says.
Well, first of all, you know what you could do is put my ashes in one of those. And then that will be, you turn it over and said, now I want to tell you one of the stories that Kathy told us.
It's story time with Kathy.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't, and I have no problem with it. And I know that a certain few will be sad and don't want to, but also they're not going to be able to help laughing. And I'm fine with that. You know, I really am. And because, I mean,
and sometimes for some
no.
people, it takes a while to get to that point of remembering and laughing.
Right.
Some people believe it's disrespectful.
No.
When they first die, but I don't think it is. I think
Right.
that's the best way to remember someone.
Look,
Is to remember the good times.
Right.
here's the way I look at it, right? If I died right now, like boom, oh,
We're going tonight to drink your motherfucking bourbon.
Yeah.
there you go. Come
Yeah.
here,
We have
drink
it on
this
recording.
bourbon.
You
Yeah.
said it last week. We have
Yeah.
it
No,
recorded
but what
that
I'm
you
saying-
told us to go do it. So we're fucking going tonight.
Yeah.
That's right.
If you
because
drop
here's-
dead where you sit, we're
you
going
get
tonight.
you get this window when you go, right? You get this window.
You're not going to add anything more a fucking window. I'll
Right,
bust
but-
that motherfucking window.
It's fucking open bar, baby. But I'm telling you, some people don't like the mourning, that makes them uncomfortable. It makes them think about their own mortality. No, open bar, baby.
I mean, think about it. What
Let's
better
go.
way
Let's get
to
DJ Khaled
remember?
in here.
Right.
Come on.
What better way to remember Bourbon Bounty than to drink his bourbon every time we take a sip?
Wait,
we're gonna
I think I
think.
still have the gesture on.
That's okay, guys.
There it
There
is.
it is. There it is.
And the heart thing. Wait, let me, God damn it.
Hold it
Okay.
still.
Oh, it's not gonna do it. It's not
It's
gonna
not
do
going
it.
to do it this
Oh,
time.
no,
Yeah,
it
put a little
Oh,
more
there
wrist
it
into
is.
it.
No one ever dies if someone remembers them. Exactly, Gavin.
That's right.
Exactly.
And the thing too is that by the time he dies, I'm going to have a lot of bourbon over here, so I could start sending little bourbon samples out to a lot of you guys, and then we could have a drinking stream.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and just be careful though, because I may put my ashes in some of them. I mean,
How you gonna put your fucking asses in it, your mother?
I won't be able to.
I
Kathy,
know.
I'll be dead. You know.
But yeah, I mean, and that's always been my thought. The best
Uh-huh.
way to remember someone is to do something that they love to do,
Uh-huh.
Yes.
or
Now,
talk about them and laugh about experiences you have with them, or
And celebrate.
exactly
Mhm.
celebrate someone's life. I
I'm
don't.
gonna, when my grandmother died, and we were at the gravesite, and they were lowering her, me and my sisters and my brother's ex-wife, my oldest brother's ex-wife. We all were in a circle. We were hugging we were holding like a group hug, and we were crying. 2 days later, we had said we made this. 2 days later, we got in the kitchen and started making her dishes.
Yep.
And we sat down, had the family over, and we were eating grandma's cooking. Not that it was her cooked it, herself,
Mhm.
but that was way to celebrate is grandma loved cooking. Grandma taught us how to cook, and we're gonna do that in celebration of grandma.
Yep.
And
Well,
then we were talking about grandma and and how
I'll be right back.
she could be strict, but she was not
Making a
mean.
drink.
But
that's
she,
why.
you know,
Yeah, Kathy, I
and
hear you.
that's how I kind of run my life. I can
Mhm.
be very strict, but I don't want to be mean either.
Well, that's why when my father passed, we had a barbecue in the backyard, and I served gin and ginger ale because it was
Uh,
his drink. You
yeah,
know, that was
yeah.
his drink, the gin and ginger, and freaking, we had a fucking grand old time. I brought neighbors into that backyard that hadn't been in that backyard in 20 or 30 freaking years. In fact, 30 years, easy. Freaking.
Hell
Like
yeah.
everybody's like, who the fuck are these people? I was like, they're the guys that live in the red house down the street. That house ain't been red for 20 fucking years either. But freaking, that's how I remember the house from when I was a kid. It's the same people, but and
That's
then
how
it was funny. He was the guy freaking Pat freaking, he was getting mad at me. He's like, I hated that red. Like, will you stop calling it the red house down the street? It's like, sorry, man, I'm a little buzzed, and that's how I remember it.
Yeah.
But no, that's how I want it to go. Because, I mean, if people just mope over you for a month, then everybody forgets you after that. Because they want to put you out of
Yeah,
the, oh, it was all sad. And they just want to,
man.
no, make it,
I
man, come on.
man, my cousins hadn't been in that backyard in forever. My father used to do a freaking a 4th of July freaking cookout every year, and
Yep.
that was the one big shindig that he did, and freaking after my grandfather died, that died really because it was like freaking no one got together after the grandpa died. Freaking it was weird, but freaking why we didn't have our party, freaking. But I think the old man was just too busy or whatever, freaking. But
Yeah.
freaking hell yeah,
Better
I'm
run.
glad I chose that route to go, freaking for his funeral. Freaking backyard barbecue, man.
Yeah. Grandma always would make whiskey and honey for cold medication, So so and she would take it out of she would put it in an aspirin bottle
Uh-huh.
because also with the little bit of aspirin that was maybe left in around the like the powder of the aspirin,
Yeah.
and then she'd pour that honey in there and whiskey and
Mhm.
and she would put it in the refrigerator. Well, tasted good to
Mm.
me. I got in trouble for emptying the mess.
But yeah, like
But
Jimmy
we,
was talking about the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh, I was just saying that we made us several bottles and gave them to when we had that dinner. We had made several bottles of it and handed it
Yep.
to them.
Oh, hell
So,
yeah.
they could have it. And then if you want any more, make it yourself. We're done with it.
But yeah, like Jimmy was talking about the barbecue for his dad.
Uh-huh.
For his mom, one of his mom's things that she used to always say to me is, I always wanted one of my kids to get married at my house. And granted, she passed away, and so did he, but that's what Jimmy and I did.
Mhm.
And
Got
I was
married in the
like,
backyard.
yeah, we got married, had a big old party and got married in the backyard. And that's one of the main reasons I wanted to do it, was
Mhm.
because that was a way to do something for his mom, because that's what she always wanted. She wanted one of her kids to get married. All of her kids were born in that house.
Yep. Born and
And
raised there.
that's what she wanted. She used to tell me all the time, I want one of my kids to get married on my property, in my house, in my yard, and just have a celebration and start a new life.
Mhm.
Got a
And
smart
that's what
mom,
we did.
Jimmy. She saved you a butt ton of money.
Well, it still cost me freaking quite a bit, dude. But we did save freaking $10,000-$20,000.
Because we looked at revenues and things like that, but
Yeah,
we both
venue.
wanted something small. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we were like, why not? It's what she wanted. In reality, it's what we both wanted. We didn't want anything huge. Neither one of us
No.
did. There were other people in our families that wanted us to have something big,
Oh, and they
but
tried.
they did.
They tried. And when I saw the
But when it
sticker,
came right down to it,
yeah, we weren't
one
we
day,
weren't we weren't going into debt for a fucking wedding.
right?
Hell
You know?
no.
There was one day when I went out with his sisters and we went shopping and stuff, and I told him when I got home what like one of his sisters wanted, and that night we sat down and we both looked at each other and said, "What is the big thing that you want on our wedding day?"
And he
He
said,
said, "I no." He said, "I want to
Cool.
have a big backyard party, barbecue, and call it a wedding."
Mhm.
And he said, "What is the big thing you want?" And I said, "I want to be dressed up for my ceremony and my pictures, and then just have a big party." So that's exactly what we did. We got dressed up for the ceremony, the pictures, we changed, and we had a huge, the
backyard.
caterers did all barbecue stuff, hamburgers, chicken. I had lasagna, and we just pretty much, I sent letters to all of the neighbors so they all knew. And that's what we did.
And woohoo.
Yep.
By the time I go and the the crematorium is going to have, they're going to say, oh my God, look at how much ashes I got, because I'm going to put the fucking stuffed moose, the stuffed Twinkie, and all those other motherfuckers in with that burn barrel that I'm going to be burnt.
So you want to spend eternity with the moose, Kathy, and the
No.
And the
Twinkie.
Twinkie.
See, you remember when Mount St. Helens exploded and they were selling ash in the
Yeah.
little bottles?
Yeah.
That was like tons of ash. See, she just wants to create more ash so we can spread the cat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We can all have a little game token with Kathy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. If because I know the girls, my granddaughters, they do want necklaces with ashes,
Mhm.
They did ask for that a few years back.
Now, Kathy,
So
do they know you're going to be burned with the moose and the Twinkie?
no, I
Do,
didn't tell
do,
them.
Yeah, she didn't have that option then.
do we need to tell them to specify
I've
they
already
want Kathy
no,
ashes?
I've already told Billy there's some things that I want to be burnt with me.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I just want that Kathy, that ass ash. That's just a little piece of that. I'm kidding. I would take all the moose. I don't care, Kathy, as long as it's but I'll tell you this, when Kathy goes, there's gonna be people that miss you.
Yeah.
There's gonna be people that
Well, yeah, Billy and you know.
that cat that comes over and you feed it. Yeah, that
But yeah,
Fuck you, McRib. You
Well,
damn plant.
Abel might miss you too.
Well,
we'll
he'll just take over.
as long as it doesn't happen till after WrestleMania 2026, Abel
Yeah.
will be happy.
I'll tell you this.
I gotta hop down, everyone. Night.
All right,
Okay,
Cody,
hey,
Cody.
have a good night.
I will tell you this, Chadwick, my dog, right now, and I know
Good night, Gavin.
I'm probably gonna outlive my dog, Chadwick, but he's about 7 or 8 years old right now. So, hopefully, if I don't, I don't. But
the odds are with you.
I guarantee you, though, if I went before him, he would miss me in this world.
Oh yeah.
More than anybody else. That dog fucking adores me. And I didn't do anything to deserve it, but I enjoy that dog's love. I'll tell you that. And I know my wife has missed me, my kids, but that dog worships me. And I don't know why.
Sounds like Chloe to me.
I was going to say that's like Chloe and Jimmy. For some reason, that fucking dog, as soon as she sees Jimmy,
Yep.
She completely forgets about me.
Boom. Just it's about Jimmy. And that's the way Chadwick is. I mean, that motherfucker. I was here one night and my father-in-law was here. And I go to the kitchen and come back out here and I go to the kitchen and they're out there talking. And I'm trying to let his daughter talk, my wife, him and his daughter talk. And I'm walking through and I'm coming back. And one time I went through and I kind of glanced over and he goes, "Hey, guy." That's what her father, he goes, "Hey, guy." And I said, "Oh, hey, what's up?" He goes, "Do me a favor." And I said, "Yeah, what is it?" He says, "Pet that dog." Every time I walk by, it's just fixated on me,
That's exactly what Chloe does to Jimmy. She will literally be looking at him, begging for him to touch her. And if he sits in that chair, she forces herself on him. Like, you will love me. Whether you want to or not, you will love me.
Yeah, fuck off, motherfucker. You're going to love me.
That's pretty much how she deals with it, without a doubt.
Yep. And he'll say to her all the time, "Do you think you can force your love onto me? I don't want it." And she'll start pouring at him. And now, Brody's my boy. Brody follows me literally everywhere I go. And the only reason he hasn't gotten up the past couple times is because he's sleeping in the chair.
Yep.
That's the only reason he hasn't.
But he respects me. He respects me, though.
Yes,
he gets out of my bed when he thinks I'm going there.
He does. Brody lays down with me when I first lay down. And like when he'll watch Jimmy go in the bathroom. As soon as Jimmy flushes the toilet, he knows Jimmy's coming to bed. So he will get off the bed because he cuddles with me. But as soon as he knows, he'll get off the bed before Jimmy even comes into my bedroom.
Well, and that's the thing is that dog is sleeping well over there
He
because
is.
he can hear your voice. You know, even in
Yep.
sleep, he knows you're there. He's comfortable. This is his clique. That's his clan. You
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
Yep.
he knows he's safe. So, sleep well, Poochie dog. You know.
But
My
yeah,
my mother, she always would say, "I don't like animals in the house. They don't belong in the house."
Uh-huh.
To my dad, "I don't like a dog. I don't like a cat in my house." She would say, and she goes, "I don't like them." And we'd always see. Then some reason we'd see her sitting down watching TV, and the dog would come up, and she'd be hugging on it. We'd catch her hugging on the dog. Well, then we had a pet goat that would come knocking at the door, and we had a uh in the kitchen right next to the dog dish was the goat food. And yeah, and my mother would say to my dad, "I got to put up with this dog in my house, and now I got a damn goat in my house that it eats in my kitchen. I don't like the goat and the dog in my house. Get them out." And
Mhm.
so the one day, my dad had the camera. He didn't know it, and so he goes, "Let's have a movie night." So, because sometimes we would watch like old things that, like from our reunion, we would take videos, movies and
Mhm.
stuff of us, and, let's watch the kids when they were little. Uh-huh. My dad put that all together, got it on the little projector thing or whatever, and she was showing when he had videoed her hugging on the damn goat and the dog.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And she was hugging on them and everything. She got so mad, and she told him, "Make your own damn meal.
Uh-huh.
Tomorrow you're cooking."
yep. That's like
She'd get so mad at him.
Kathy will a lot of times she'll call Jimmy out because Jimmy will say, hate those dogs,
Uh-huh.
hate that cat.
Uh-huh.
She's the only reason they're in the house.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And I've caught him where I'll be sitting here recording a video, and all of a sudden I'll hear, Thomas, what are you doing, buddy? You gonna sit
Uh-huh.
up here? You gonna hang
Yeah.
out with me? Or I'll hear, Chloe, good girl. You're such a
Mhm.
look at you, Chloe. You're such a good girl.
I
And like
do not
Kathy
give
will
her
call him
that.
out. You
Bullshit.
do too.
Bullshit.
You
No,
do
I don't give
too.
her a
You
good
just
girl.
did it last night.
Oh,
I was laying in
I
bed. You went to let them out, and she instantly sat for you. And you said,
Well, that's
Chloe,
different.
look at you. What a good
oh, and
girl.
what about
That's
Thomas
different.
over at the other house where he had a space right in his where he
And
had the computer, and there was a place for him? Bullshit, Jimmy.
yeah.
We got proof.
And Kathy would
And
call him
they
out
had Jimmy
all
in
the
the
time.
kitchen
He ain't
softly.
got nothing.
Bullshit.
He ain't got nothing.
Like
All we had to do is go
there
back
was
and
a
watch the streams when you were doing it.
and
Hey.
upstairs there was this envelope that was in the same spot on the floor. And one day I went to pick it up, and Jimmy said, "Don't touch that." And I said, "Why?" He goes, "That is where Thomas lays.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
He likes to lay on that envelope. That's why I keep it there." And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, okay."
Well, it wasn't just debris on the floor. It was freaking.
Remember, I wanted that cabinet. Remember, I wanted that
Yeah,
cabinet, and that's where Thomas lays.
yeah, that was freaking
Yep,
my
that's where
dresser.
Thomas
Well,
sits.
yeah,
That's
the
where
leg.
Thomas sits.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's his favorite spot.
It's his
Yeah, I
favorite
can't
stuff.
send it to you. That's Thomas's.
You didn't
Yeah.
want that piece of junk
Yes,
anyway.
I did.
It was particle
And-
board.
I didn't.
And
I don't.
now
Don't argue
Thomas's
with
other
me.
favorite piece of furniture to lay on is Jimmy's dresser.
Yeah.
He
there you
lays
go.
on that.
Or my blanket.
A lot of times.
He's on my blanket all the fucking time.
Or
too.
his blanket. He curls up on yep.
Mhm.
Don't
Because he
matter.
loves you.
Well,
And you know what?
see,
And what you did, you were moving and you said it would fall apart by sending it. I totally understood. But the point of it is, even before you were even going to move, and I said I wanted it, then no, that's where Thomas plays.
No.
We're
But
full
that-
fucking shit. I don't care
That's what you said.
how many times,
Yeah.
Doris, have I said I wanted it? No, that was where Thomas played.
For months. And you would always say, before we were going to move, you would say, where is Thomas going to lay? Thomas likes to perch up there when you're doing a stream
Mhm.
and watch you.
Right. And it
That's
was all
what
about
you
you.
say.
It was all about you and the cat, though, not me and the cat.
Bullshit.
But
Uh,
you're the one
you
that
know
brought
what?
up that's where Thomas liked to lay.
God damn, Jimmy, you have a
Uh,
heart. Fuck, man, where'd that come?
no.
He does.
Don't
He has a
accuse me.
heart.
Don't accuse me.
Well, it's sometimes, it's painful sometimes, but
Yeah, kind of hurts a little, but you
I
gotta
know.
let the heart show.
Yeah.
No, I mean, my wife, we foster
He's going to go
animals.
to prison for killing me. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah. Now we had this little cat, and my wife fosters things, and tiny, teeniest little fucking cat. It didn't
Oh.
like, holy motherfuck, what the fuck is this? She said it's a cat, and I said, look like a chipmunk. I mean, it was, and that little motherfucker stole all our hearts. I mean, I'm telling you, but I have acoustic foam on the back of my door out here. And I said, and she's like, oh, it's in our room, or, the bedroom, master bedroom, and it's got its litter box and stuff, and it won't come down. And I said, well, how long we got to keep this thing? She said, well, until it's neutered, little boy cat. And I said, well, how long is that? And she said, well, he has to be 2 pounds. And I said, okay. What does he weigh now? She's like 0.6. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, how big is this motherfucker supposed to be when it's full grown? She said 6 pounds. And so we kept this motherfucker for like over a month. And it come out and one day, because I always keep his door closed and all the animals stay out, because I have allergy to the pet dander, but I can sleep because they don't come out here. But every once in a while we leave the door open, they come in and sniff. This little motherfucking cat like this big comes in here, and she's like, oh, I gotta get the cat. And I'm like, don't worry about it, it'll be fine. And I'm out here and the door is open. And when the door is
ready.
When the door is open, it's up against the wall, because the door, it opens. And I was looking for the cat and I see the door moving over there a little bit, like vibrating. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I go over there and I pull the door open and I'm looking at the floor. And this motherfucker is up here climbing the acoustic foam on the back of the door. And I go to rip it off, and it's like the hardest Velcro you've ever pulled off. And I'm like, tossed it and closed the door. I mean, yeah, I tossed him out there, he slid across the floor. But our 3 dogs loved that cat. Loved that cat. And I'm
when
like,
Thomas was a kitten,
you know,
his favorite thing to do, and this was when Jimmy used to sit in the he used to call it the cave when he was on YouTube, and my kitchen was to his left, his right. Thomas would stand on the kitchen table and fly and jump on Jimmy's shoulder with claws and everything. And Jimmy would always go, fucking cat. Not only does he fucking claw me, he scares the fuck out of me because I don't know he's coming. But that was Thomas's favorite way to show Jimmy love. He would launch himself from the table to Jimmy's chair.
I
And
got
it
another
was
story.
he
I'm
was
not
just a
gonna tell it.
kid.
Yeah, I have a whole other story about Monster Cat. I'm not going to tell. But in the end, Monster and I, we saw eye to eye, and that cat respected me. But everyone else in the world hated that fucking cat, and no one would go near that cat. But at the end of the day, I could walk over and pick Monster up, and I'd be like, "Oh, why y'all scared of this cat?" And this motherfucker in my ear was going, "I'm gonna kill you, you son of a bitch." Put me down. But he would not attack me because he knew what was about to happen.
Right. Get thrown across the room like
Yep.
freaking. Trust me,
Motherfucker, I will kill you.
Thomas has gotten tossed freaking more than once.
No, but I love that fucking Monster Cat because once we came to an understanding, there was a couple of physical altercations in there. I won't go into detail, but I woke up one morning and I was laying in bed. Rachel's
And
in
he
the
was
shower.
on your chest.
Yep, he was on my chest and he was poking me with his middle claw, just like on my chin, poking. And then I wake up and there's Monster sitting on my chest. And so I start rubbing his neck. And I mean, this cat was like, purring like crazy. And we were best buds after that. This is the motherfucker that would go out because he was an indoor-outdoor cat. He would go outside and hang out with raccoons and shit, like run around with a gang of raccoons and come back. And one time, Monster came up missing, and I was like, well, and we were about ready to let him go. We were like, yeah, okay, Monster's gone, whatever. And he comes back in the house, skinny as bones, just comes back in the house. And I think he got bit by a snake, is really what I think happened. Because we had a big swampy green belt behind our house. And I think he got bit. And I think it almost killed him, but it didn't. But when he come back in, everybody, Monster come back in, and he just wanted to be by my side all the fucking time after that. It was like, no, this is my guy right here. And it was that's the only cat, the only one ever I have kind of gotten close to emotionally. Normally it's just dogs that I love dogs. But Monster Cat, and that was his name, Monster. And we had a cat at the same time called Peanut, and Peanut liked to jump on Monster and run away. And Peanut would be like I'm not touching you type bullshit.
Yeah.
And rile Monster up. And Monster was sitting in the floor one day, and Peanut came down and went around behind Monster and jumped on Monster's ass. Jumped back again, and Monster didn't move. And Peanut came around and was like looking at Monster and everything, and Monster went, "Pow!"
Yep.
And that cat flipped 3 times in the air and ran upstairs. I was like, yeah, you tell that little motherfucker where to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's like the day. I'm sorry, Kathy, but that's like the day that Moose let Tilly know that he knew he was a lot bigger than she was, and she only won all the fights because he let her.
Yep.
Yeah, because he had enough for her shit one day, and that's all he did to her. She was being a little bitch, fucking his ass, and that's all he did. He turned around, gave her the one paw, put her on the ground, and fucking gave her a freaking lick on the face, and he was done. Like she didn't fuck with him so much after that.
Nope.
Nope.
Yep. And you got to let the animals work that shit out, you know.
Uh-huh.
You
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
know,
Moose
let 'em-
Moose was like a year older than her, twice her size, and
Yep.
freaking, because he was a pit lab and she was a pit bull. They say pit lab, but she was a pit bull. And freaking, yeah, it was fun. It's funny because you used to always see them. Tilly would be underneath Moose, they that's how the height difference is.
It was
And
like a
now
cross.
these two do the same damn thing. Freaking,
Yep. Chloe will go right underneath Brody like a cross.
they were riding in the car like that the other day.
Yep.
Freaking,
Boy, that little itty bitty kitty, that's what I call that little, it's named Firecracker or some shit. I don't know, because they give you the name because we're foster. We were foster.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I called it itty bitty kitty because it was just tiny. And that fucking Aloy, one of our dogs out there, thought it was her baby. I mean, just protective of that fucking little cat. And that cat was so fucking mean. And
Mhm.
they would just lick it and lick it. And put a paw on it and lick it.
Mhm.
We may get that one back. I don't know. It depends on whether it gets adopted before the next 2 weeks. My wife, she said they put the saddest picture of that cat. And she showed me the picture. The
Yeah.
cat was sitting there like it's that is not the attitude that cat has. That is not indicative of the attitude.
That's funny. See, and I would foster animals if I thought Jimmy would be okay with it, but I know
The
he
fuck
wouldn't.
no.
He would fucking kill me.
Fuck no. We have enough animals as it is.
Yeah,
We have too many animals as it is.
well, right now we have 3 dogs. What y'all got?
Yeah.
I got 2 dogs and 1 cat.
Well, that's three animals.
Yeah. And freaking 50 birds and
They're
a
not
dozen
my
a dozen
pets.
rabbits.
They're not my pets. I
You
just
feed
feed
them.
because I like looking at them.
Well, a lot of people have
Wait,
bird
I'm talking about in
feeders.
the house. In the house. In the house.
Yeah.
In the
right
house.
in the house.
In the house.
Well, okay. But
I enjoy watching the birds and the rabbits.
Yeah. Just because she's more of a nature
Yeah.
lover than a Sasquatch
oh,
lover.
I love nature. I love nature. I don't love animals in my house.
I agree with Smitty. Smitty says we need a horse.
No, we
No.
do not need a horse.
No, Jimmy loves nature outside.
Yeah, it's where it belongs, outside, not in my fucking house. Yeah.
Doris,
No.
get rid of the Sasquatch in your house then.
Right?
Mhm.
Chloe, we gotta get rid of Daddy.
But that little furry motherfucker right there, that's by Doris,
Yep.
loves you guys more than you love each other.
Oh yeah. And here comes my boy.
Just
Oh
saying.
yeah.
Because Chloe came over. So now my
Well,
boy is
well,
gonna come over.
she wants out.
Yeah, I know she does. Ah, my baby.
If we could only afford a fence so we could leave them out there, freaking
My
more than a
sister,
few minutes.
my
Yeah.
I'll be
sister has
back.
one of those pet things where you can put them outside and just let them run around. Not my niece. It's my niece that has it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they can enjoy the outdoors and it, they can just run around inside of it. It's not just a fence, but it's something you can put down in your
Right.
yard.
Like a kennel, yeah.
Yeah,
Like these guys I'll leave outside on their leashes for a little bit during the day.
hmm
Because sometimes like if it's not during the day, if it's nice and quiet, they're good.
right.
It's just when people start coming home and walking their dogs or riding their bikes
Yeah.
that they start barking. And I just bring them in because I feel like it's a nuisance to my neighbor.
They are a nuisance.
So
Well, my neighbors across the street over here,
Hi, baby.
they have fucking goats and chickens and shit. and roosters
I'm
and
coming. I'm coming.
and all
I'm
over
coming.
here. So my dogs go in a chain link fence. They can go out there anytime they want to.
Yeah.
And the problem, the thing is though, they used to bark across, the road over there.
Uh-huh.
Now they don't. They just go out there and fuck around. I mean,
Yeah.
on shit, piss, and come back.
Well, this neighborhood is full of fucking dogs. So once you get one out there barking, they all
Yeah.
start barking, freaking.
They're
And it's
just having
like,
a conversation.
oh yeah, they are without a doubt, and there's one neighborhood freaking dog that just, he's I believe he's free ranging freaking. I don't think he really has an owner freaking, but you see him everywhere. He freaking,
Yeah.
but they start barking and you can tell like there's this one over there barking and then this one over there barking. You got those two over there barking freaking.
Yeah. Smitty
It's
said,
like,
I didn't say keep the horse in the house, Jimmy.
yeah, I don't want to own a horse, man. They're expensive. Ugh, they're expensive, and especially if you want a horse that can fit my ass, they
Well,
ain't they
that's
ain't
what
gonna
I
be
was gonna
cheap,
say.
you
I
know.
was gonna say, well, and here's the thing: horses are frisky under 10 years old, and then between 10 and 15, they start to slow down. And
Mhm.
I used to raise horses with my uncle Archie,
Uh-huh.
and we had trail riding, thing.
Yeah.
And what you do is you take the age of the kid, okay?
Yeah.
So if they're 12 years old, you put them on like a 26-year-old horse because they're not going to do shit, right?
Yeah.
And the older the person, the younger the horse can be to a point.
Yeah.
And then once they get too old, like a 60-year-old person, you want to put on a 28-year-old horse, so
Yeah.
it's not gonna buck. And there's this like metric, like
Yeah.
life you can put in.
Uh-huh.
But I used to break horses when I was in my teens, like 15, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It's tough
Mm.
doing that. I mean, those horses are fucking powerful.
Yeah.
You don't want to put someone on a green broke horse that can't handle it. I mean, there's only,
Right.
a certain, and it's not just the age range. They got to be in shape too,
Yeah. 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 And you also have to have horse knowledge, freaking,
Yeah, yeah.
which I don't have any. I've ridden horses twice in my life, freaking,
Yeah, don't
you
get on.
know.
That's what I can tell you.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. Freaking, I'm good.
Yeah,
I
because
mean, I've always wanted to
I
do
don't
one of
ride
those,
them. Yeah.
like an elk hunt on horseback, but freaking,
Hey, Midian.
what up, Midian? Good to
I
see
do
you.
not I do not get my old ass on a horse no more.
No.
Yeah, just because you rode a horse at the local fair don't mean that you know all
Right.
about horses.
Well, that's
Well,
why I didn't do the local fair. We went out freaking trail riding, but I only done it twice, and that was freaking. I was in my fucking 20s both times, freaking
well,
maybe once more when I was a little kid, but freaking
what I will say is I used to green break horses for the barrel. Farmers would buy them for their daughters. Barrel racing was popular,
yeah,
and I'd green break them. And green break only means they won't bite the fuck out of you, maybe it when you're trying to saddle
mm,
them. And but they're still feisty. And then I would full break horses. That full break means they're not going to get too feisty,
yeah,
but and there's a difference between a Ferrari and a fucking, you
right,
can brake for the speed, but you got to be able to control it at all the way, step it down to, a Fiat or something.
right,
But I would do all that with my Uncle Archie. And but I had to go kill my own chicken in the yard so we could have lunch. But that was a whole different story. But no, I mean, I would say horses had their time, in the mainstream of America. But don't fuck around if you don't know what you're doing. Just don't fuck around it if you don't know what you're doing. And, if someone says, oh, here's a trail ride, and horses are nose to ass just walking, and all they're going to do is follow the one in front of them. Yeah, you're technically riding a horse, but it's just gonna fucking follow the horse in front of it. If you want to know what it feels like, yeah, go right on ahead. But I used to ride horses. Like I would go out and kill coyotes for farmers, and they would pay me $20 a dog, when I would kill them. And I would ride horses all up and down the canal, around farms, around fields, rustling up, coyotes and kill them because they were killing their chickens and they were killing, nuisance animals type thing. And I would have to train the horses to learn to not buck when I shot. And so I would get them broke and everything, and I would tie them to a tree. And then I would target shoot over here, beside them. And then I would get a little closer to them and target shoot. And I'd get a little closer to them and target. So that was all part of the training, getting them used to the gunfire. Because if I'm going to do this, I have to shoot off the horse's back.
Right.
And I can't have it buck me off, and all. So I would train horses for that. But no, I grew up country as fuck.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we didn't have no horses.
No. Exactly, Smitty. I tell him to buck off all the time. But on that note,
you could get a pot belly pig. Put it in your
I
house.
want a pot belly pig to be in the
Yeah.
house.
No, boy.
No.
Yeah.
Big boy.
All they
I
do
want
is
a little pig. I
all
want a
they-
little pig.
all they do is
little
shit all
pig-
over the house.
Oh, come on. You could teach. I taught a goat. I mean, we taught a goat how to be in the house. You could
Hey,
teach
Jimmy.
a pig.
Get
Yep.
ready to eat bacon, baby.
No.
Right?
But on that note, I think I am going to end it.
Mhm.
I have an appointment for a haircut tomorrow, so
Oh,
and
Jesus.
in reality, I've been on since 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
So
and I have to be
Yeah.
respectful to myself and get some sleep.
right,
Mhm.
that's what I say, Bourbon.
Yeah.
Get some sleep, relax a little bit, chill.
Turn on
Get
the
this chair.
YouTubes on the TV.
Love you too, Smitty. That's what I'm gonna do. Turn on the YouTubes on the TV and
Yep,
Mhm.
Smitty.
probably fall asleep. Hopefully. But
Yeah.
so yeah, thank you all for joining me. I
See you
appreciate
guys.
you hanging out with me. Kathy, I will see you tomorrow.
Thumbs up
All
came
right.
up.
On your the thumbs up is there.
Oh, look,
Um,
heart.
Heart. Come on, heart.
Do it.
You ain't got a heart.
Do
Oh,
it, do it, do it. Come on.
I can't do the heart.
What?
When he makes
There.
look at that, there it is.
Well,
It's a thing that he found out that he had on his
Yeah.
computer today.
Bourbon's got a new play toy.
And he just found out today. He's like, I don't know how I did that.
Wait till Thursday when he shows everybody.
Right?
Yeah.
All
what the
right.
hell? What app is that?
It's not an
Uh,
app, it's built into his Mac.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Mac
okay.
gesture thing.
Oh, all right.
I don't know
All
how
right.
to do the balloons and shit, but I
Mhm.
forget.
I'm sure you'll figure it out.
I will.
Play with it, Bourbon.
Yeah.
Play with it.
Well, I always play with it. I always
Yeah.
play.
Mhm.
We
I was
know.
gonna tell you, Doris. Yeah. But we don't want that popping up on the stream either.
No.
You wouldn't
All
see
right.
it.
All right, guys. So I will see you all tomorrow on Kathy's stream.
Yeah.
Love ya.
Love
And
you.
Mhm.
thank you
And
for
thank
joining me.
everybody for joining us.
Right.